Welcome, ladies and gents, wherever and whoever you are around Australia, to Brighton Homes Arena here in Springfield in the lovely state of Queensland for the 2024 QAFL Senior Men's Grand Final between the Morningside Panthers and the Redland-Victoria Point Sharks. Brought to you live thanks to production partners Double Take and the official AFL Queensland YouTube channel. Well, after 221 games across 12 clubs at places from Noosa to Palm Beach and about 10 other venues in between, we are finally down to just two: Morningside and Redland-Victoria Point. My name's Kane Browning. Joining me in the commentary today is a crazy mix of talent and experience in Queensland football. Welcome firstly to Chris Yendi, a man who has called just about, if not all levels of footy, from the top to representative level and everything in between. Next is Brad Moore on special comments this afternoon, who is widely experienced in footy circles in Queensland, including the 2019 Premiership winning QAFL coach for Surfers Paradise. And finally, one of the great men in Queensland football for a very long period of time, AFL Queensland's very own Jack Barry. Welcome, gents.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Kane. Good afternoon, Brad. Good afternoon, Jack. It's wonderful being in your company. It's what a fantastic afternoon we've got for football here at Brighton Homes Arena, which is the home of the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, thanks, Kane, for that introduction. Welcome, Chris. Looking forward to working with the two of you up here in the box and Jack down there on the boundary. But looking forward to a fantastic game of football against two fantastic sides. A bit different to what we've experienced over the last two seasons with grand finals, but it's going to be a cracking game in great conditions.
Well, what can I say, gents? I mean, talk about a final series this year. We've had ups and downs, lefts and rights, back and forths, and I tell you, Redland-Victoria Point has done it the hard way, and how impressive have they been?
Well, they've been very impressive, and we're going to find out just now because we're going to throw to some pre-match interviews that the great man Jack Barry caught up with the coaches of both teams earlier on, and here's what they had to say.
2005 players most likely said you're going to be the bloke who'll go on and coach the senior football club. You've done that. You've had a great extensive assistant coach's role at the NEFA level, and also you've coached premiership sides with Morningside in the youth level. Here's your big chance with the senior team today. How are you feeling?
Well, it's a good day, mate. As I said earlier in the week, playing's certainly different from coaching. It's only so much you can do as a coach now. It's all about the players this week and the last couple of weeks. We got in early, so yeah, nice to hear that all my old teammates said that many years ago, so I'm not sure what made them think that, but anyway, that's nice for them to say it, so yeah.
You've got a good list. You've got obviously a couple of big match winners in your side. You've recruited really well this year, but you've also put a lot of games into some of your younger players today. You've got 40, 50 games in them. How do you think that'll hold them in good stead for today?
Hopefully it does. I mean, it's all about sort of staying calm and having your moments. You might be playing a bad game, but you'll get your little chance here and there, so just taking those moments when you do. So again, I think I said earlier in the week, we've played 52 players in the senior side this year, which is the most across the whole competition. So, every side's recruited hard this year, but hopefully we've been able to make them, gel together. It's well and good recruiting, but you've got to get them to play together well as well. So I think we've done that so far, so good, but one more time now.
Wishing you all the very best today. Good luck.
Thanks, Jack. Good on you, mate.
Congratulations, Phil. You're back here again after last year getting into the grand final. What's been different in your lead up to this year's assault?
Yeah, thanks, Jack. Yeah, look, been a very different build-up, to be honest. We've, I think, had a lot of adversity across the year. We were really on the back foot early, and we've had to do it the hard way. Come from third position, so had to win each game to get to this position. And I think the boys have showed a new mindset. A really sort of gritty, stoic mindset,
Thanks,
and yeah, you can be prouder of them.
You've got some genuine match winners. I don't have to name them out there, but it's been more consistently the way that your team's performed right across the board this year that's probably got you where you are today.
Yeah, look, I think that's our big strength at the moment. That's what we keep talking about. We only had a couple of players in the team of the year, and no one that polled particularly very many in the Grogan, all that sort of stuff. It's just been about having a really even team performance. Everyone plays their role. Everyone knows what they have to do, and we'll try and do it again today.
Well, wishing you all the very best of luck today and taking on to win the premiership.
Thanks, Jack. Cheers, mate.
Well, a couple of interesting interviews from the great man Jack Barry on the sideline today. And again, we were talking about Redland just before we went to that. We're going to quickly introduce the umpires. If you can do that for us, Yendi, that'd be great.
Yeah, in the field today we've got Sammy Somerville, former VFL umpire. We've got Rowan Smith, Frankie Raisin on the emergency, Matt Paulina, the boundary. We've got Alex Donahue, Nick Mabb, Ronan Marnie. And on the goals, we've got Alistair Meldrum, Jong Yen, and an emergency, Connor Johnston. So congratulations to all the officials out there today. And no doubt last year we will see one of these field umpires actually come up into the VFL next year, as we saw last year, including Sam Bridges.
No, thanks to Brandon Windows and Doors as well, the major sponsor for the umpires this season. They've been a wonderful sponsor. And all the people in green across the whole season have been absolutely brilliant and should be no different today.
And we'll be having Redlands come onto the ground very shortly. They're going to be the first ones to go ahead. But Brad, wonderful conditions out here today.
Oh, you couldn't ask for any better conditions to play a grand final. It's a great playing field, and obviously the sun's shining. There's a little bit of a breeze, might be favouring just to the right, but as a player, you just you thrive to play on days like today because there's no excuses. You've got everything going your way with the conditions. So looking forward to seeing how both teams respond and how they perform.
And Kano, you called the game last week. There was some injuries concerned for Redland-Victoria Point with Matt Hamilton and Salah, but we saw them warming up before the game. They're looking pretty good.
Well, talk about not being a good judge from my point of view, because I said Hamilton was gone in the third quarter with a hamstring. He bobbed up in the goal square and kicked about 3 or 4 goals in about 4 minutes. Got him back into the contest. And Stallard, on the other hand, I thought he was definitely gone. He would not play this week. So that is a bit of a surprise that he's maintained his spot in the side. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go.
And Brad, we're seeing the Bombers getting ready to come on. Sorry, the Sharks getting ready to come on the ground at the moment. They have not won a premiership here in the QAFL. This is a big day for them, given that they've had to go the long way to make the grand final.
They've had a tough 4 weeks playing football at the moment. They've come through the long way, as opposed to Morningside, who had a bit of an easier run into the grand final after knocking off Aspley. But to beat Surfers Paradise, followed by Palm Beach and then Aspley last week, it puts them in good stead. I mean, tough football week in, week out is a good way to come into a grand final, in my opinion. I know back in 2019, that's how we had to do it, and with a young side, it was advantageous for us. So, yes, Kane mentioned a few injury concerns with Redland, but they were here on this stage last year, and I'm sure they're going to be working hard to get redemption, no matter who their opposition is.
It's certainly going to be a big contest for them. And Kane, we've seen a lot of footy here at Brighton Homes Arena across various platforms. This is a very fast track today. How do you think the Sharks are going to go with a track that essentially we could see 20 goals, see the team win?
Well, it's interesting because they've dropped Chapman out the side, which is really disappointing for him, and Hamilton's come back in. Also, the big fella Malone, who's dominated in the ruck all season long, gives them that second option for Huddy to play up forward. So it's an interesting one. Huddy suddenly goes to the ruck and Cameron becomes a vocal point down forward a bit more. So they're going to have to do everything right to get on top of this Morningside lineup.
And Brad, we're now seeing the Panthers come onto the ground, fresh off the 2020 Premiership. 4 players still running around from that grand final team, but it's been a big day for this footy club, hasn't it?
Oh, look, any football club can get all 3 sides into the grand final. It's a great collective effort from them as a collective group, as a whole club. But yeah, look, they've had an outstanding season. They've been fantastic this year, Morningside. Obviously, went through a bit of a rebuild last year, and then this year they've been able to recruit some really important players that have put them in really good stead. So they've done a lot right this year. They've been fighting between them and Aspley for first and second pretty much the whole year. They were able to knock off Aspley, and as we know, Redland did the same thing last week. So now they've got an opportunity to go all the way after putting in a really great year.
And we're going to be looking at Morningside in a few moments' time. But Kano, it was as Brad mentioned about the recruits. It's one of those recruits that has come into the team in replace of one of their gun forwards who was unfortunately missing from suspension with Waters coming in. That is just massive for this footy club.
Well, it's an interesting one because it's a bit like for like, but even Keegan Downey, I mean, he's the top goal kicker for Morningside this year, kicked 55 goals, but also from a marking perspective, contested marking perspective, he's been really dominant down forward. So they're going to be missing that option down there today.
And we've got the teams that are popping up on the screen at the moment here for Morningside, and that just gives us a bit of a look in. Just a couple of changes coming in, as we mentioned, with Keegan Downey coming out. We've got Ryan Dadds coming in, Waters coming in. Unlucky one to miss out, gents, is Luca Winton, the former Sherwood star. He played in the reserves grand final before. It's heartbreaking for him, but a couple of weeks off. Who's better placed now with in terms of this lineup? Who's probably going in a little bit more confidence and a little bit more form?
Oh, look, any time you can have a little bit of an easier run through and allow your players to freshen up. No doubt, I think I heard Egan speak about the week before when they got the first week off. They were able just to refresh and give the guys that week recovery. Now, they would have had a nice solid session earlier in this week before today's game. So, look, most coaches would love to have the option of giving your players a break so they can come full of energy, but anything can happen on grand final day, and sometimes momentum is a great thing as well. And I think Redland come into this game with a lot of momentum, beating 3 quality sides to get here.
We're looking at Morningside at the moment, some big guns that are up there on screen that are just going to bring so much. We've got Tommy Horn as the key player. Kano, tell us a little bit about Tommy Horn.
No, Tommy Horn has just been a dominant force in that midfield group this season. I mean, he's dominated contested possession, he's dominated clearance, and he bobs up it. He dominates inside 50s as well. He's almost broke triple figures for inside 50s this year. So he's definitely the one to watch, and he's actually my pick for best on ground today.
We can have a look at the Redlands-Victoria point line up the Sharks at the moment as the umpires get a couple of photos there with the crowd. With the Premiership Cup, but we're looking at the Sharks at the moment, and we'll have a look at their lineups too while we get the opportunity. And Brad, they've recruited well in the off season, bringing a couple of players in there. Dylan Smith for mine is the one that stands out. Yeah,
Dylan Smith. Look, they're just a really balanced side. They've got really good, strong defenders in the likes of Williams and Stellard, the captain, and they've got a really potent forward line. If Hamilman's on his game, and you've got someone like a Clay Cameron as well, 2 key pillars down there, and the smalls like a Josh Brown, who just seems to pop up and kick goals every week, and they've got a really nice midfield as well. Some guys that have probably been unrecognised by a lot of clubs in the past, but they've really made a name for themselves. And I've been privileged enough to watch Redland over the last 4 weeks, and some of their players, such as a Petterwood and a Housefield, they've really stepped up to the plate and been really important for Redland.
Yeah, they're coming in with a bit underdone, Kano, with some injury concerns to be highlighted.
Yeah, Bailey Reeves is the one for me who's been another great in for them. Another sort of inside midfielder who can get on the outside as well. Very good foot skills, very good by hand as well. And he just added that extra layer in that midfield, especially when Jack Rolls went down injured earlier in the season. He was a massive in. And Ethan Peterwood, I haven't seen a lot of him this year, but for what I have seen, he's been absolutely dominant in that midfield battle. And he was one of the key reasons why they got back into the game last week against Aspley.
Yeah, well, he was that big drive, that big final term. Forget the Premiership quarter, gentlemen. Just that strong finish is invaluable.
Yeah, look, I saw him in the first game of the week of finals against Surfers Paradise, and then again the following week against Palm Beach, and he was outstanding in both those. I would have had him in my top 5 players in both those games, and last week again against Aspley, he just showed just how important he is. So, like I said, a player that I don't think has flown under the radar with a lot of teams as the year's gone on, but when the big games are there to be won, he's stepped up to the plate, and that's when good players make a name for themselves, when the games are in the balance and they're big games on the line as well.
I just want to give a quick apology to Dylan Smith. We were too busy looking at Hamilman in the goal square last week in that last 5 seconds of the game. I didn't realise for him to kick a 65-metre bomb on the edge of the square with no time left to win you the game. I was too busy watching Hamilman wrestle with Wosley Black at the goal square. Didn't realise, hang on, he's going to kick this goal. This is unbelievable.
Well, the Sharks are coming to this game. They've got 14 players that were in last year's grand final. So they've had two-thirds of their list continue back on the list. Mentioned before, we've got 4 players who are fresh off the 2020 grand final win. But, gents, the one thing I'm really excited about today is the man to Brad's right. We're creating history today. We've got live stats with our man Benny Boy. They've been telling me that he's the best in the business when it comes to producing stats and creating history. This is the first time, gents, that we have got live stats around the country. But I do want to give a shout out to our wonderful team today, if we've got the opportunity to. From Double Take, we've got Harry who'll be on our wide camera, we've got Connor on our close, we've got Josh on the handheld, so all the images in the pocket you'll see today. We've got Joel, who's our producer. We've got Will in the studio, who is dominating. Of course, we've got our superstar team here, and this is the most stacked lineup for a QAFL Senior Men's Grand Final call ever in the history of it. This is top-line production.
And I tell you what, the people you don't mention from AFL Queensland, all the staff, they've done a tremendous amount of work this season. The representative game earlier in the year, Tassie and Queensland, was brilliant by them as well. The amount of work that goes on off the ground, behind the scenes to put these events together is just enormous, and they've done a tremendous job.
Yeah, good call, Kane. They are. There is a big network of people behind the scenes who do a mountain of work, and they do it all for the love of the game and for making sure Queensland football keeps thriving. So, full credit to everyone involved at AFL Queensland, and I think today is just going to be the pinnacle of all the year.
Yeah, we'll cross down to our Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon, Mitch Simpson, who is one of the big drivers in this competition. And he's one of the key reasons that we're here today. So we'll get ready for our national anthems in a few moments' time. And it'd be remiss of me to congratulate the calls of Riley and David and Daniel and Jack in early games today, as we see the Premiership come out.
He's a life member of the Morningside Football Club and AFL Merit Award recipient in 2016. And from the Redland-Victoria point, we welcome AFL Q Hall of Fame inductee, current club president, state representative, and former Cooperoo Premiership player Ron Shepherd. Welcome.
With the formalities here with the Premiership Cup, proud tradition.
I'd like to now invite everyone who is able to join our players and officials in being upstanding for the playing of the Australian National Anthem.
Well, how good is that, ladies and gents and gentlemen in the box with me today? Geez, feel the hairs on the back of the neck, the energy starting to build, the crowd starting to raise their voice, and just having a closer look at those two sides, staring down the barrels at each other. No love lost between these two, and this should be an absolute epic grand final.
Brad, you can feel the death stares coming with our man Joshy there on the camera. You felt like they were jumping out of your screen. They were just hungry for it.
Oh, they are. They will be. There'll be nerves at the start, like there is for all grand finals. But I must say, I was a bit envious standing up here in the commentary box, looking down. Remember what it was like out on the field, and so it's excitement as well as nerves that are within the playing group, and even the coaches. The coaches now have done as much as they could possibly do. It's up to the players to go put the job or do the job out there now. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this starts.
I had a chat to the umpires before the game, because without them we wouldn't be where we are. But it's very important with them. We saw last year, we saw Sam Bridges tear it up at the big stage last year, and I had the privilege to be able to call his very first VFL game and saw him a lot throughout the year. I'm looking at the likes of, Sammy Somerville. He was umpiring VFL last year, coming down to the QAFL, had a lot of success. We've got Rowan Smith out there. I'm looking at Frankie Raisin as maybe one of those next ones that could make that leap. Kano, it's so good that the talent that we've got here is a beautiful pathways program from QAFL Senior Men's Grand Final straight into the big dance of the VFL.
No, you're definitely right, and perfect example, you got Redland-Victoria Point Sharks, the great man Brock Aston, hasn't played a lot of QAFL footy because he's had duties at the Southport Sharks, who got up yesterday in the preliminary final and will play off for the big one next week against Werribee. He's been absolutely huge for the Sharks coming into that lineup. And by the looks of it, Redland's been able to adapt and bring a couple of key plays in to replace Brock. And they haven't really missed a beat all year.
We got umpire Rowan Smith there with the two captains, and the toss has been run and won, and the Panthers have won the Sharks have won the toss. They're kicking to the scoreboard end, which is where there's a slight breeze favouring that right-hand side forward pocket, just ever so subtle. We might see a few kicks sort of push that way, but the breeze is not going to have an impact today.
No, you wouldn't think so, mate. It's like I said earlier, the conditions, you couldn't ask for any better conditions as a player out there. It's going to be red hot at the start. Both teams won't leave anything to chance. It's going to be really interesting to see. And again, like all grand finals, is which team settles fastest will obviously be able to make the biggest impact. So looking forward to how this all gets underway.
That's it from you, Kano.
Look, I think Morningside have been arguably the best side all season long. I've seen the best and worst of them, mind you. I think they'll get up by probably 24 points, and I like Tommy Horn for the Joe Grant medal.
What about you, Brad?
I actually like the pathway that Redland-Victoria Point have taken into the grand final. I'm going to be selecting them today. I think they've been hardened by the games that they've been having to play. They might have a few players who might just have some little niggling injuries, but I'm going with them today. In regards to a best on ground, it's going to be really difficult. Again, Petterwood, I've been super impressed with him, and I'm going with Petterwood as best on ground.
And I love the narrative of being able to watch a team win their first senior premiership, as I've done in other comps throughout my broadcast career. And I did have a dream last night that Campbell Aston was an absolute superstar, maybe because I was watching his brother Brock carve it up on his way to a grand final yesterday at Southport. But I'm going to throw it out there. The Sharks, just for the sentimentality there, in all respect to the Morningside fans, I've been working with Doggy, Clint Watts, who coached their premiership in 2020. It's certainly big. But you're here. Thanks to our friends at Double Take. We've got Brad Moore, we've got Benny, we've got a great team. We've got Frankie Raisin with the ball in hand. And we've got the great man, the voice of men's footy here in Queensland. We've got Kane Browning with the opening bounce.
Well, ladies and gents, it's time. And here we go. You got Hodge. You got Huddy in the ruck for Redland-Victoria Point. There's the first bounce of the ball. And, of course, anticlimax. I reckon that's about the 300th we've had this year. So that ball is going to get recalled. Everyone's got a bit of nerves, so that ball gets thrown up. Hodge versus Huddy. First clearance, almost went to the Sharks. Hodge gets tackled, but they found a free kick, and it's going to go to the Sharks, and it's Hosfeld to get the first clearance.
Hosfeld will push the ball inside the forward 50 for the first time today, as Hamilton with a deft little tap out towards the boundary line, looking for his teammate. And it's taken out of bounds there, and Smith, so we'll see a free kick will go to Morningside at left half back.
I'm not sure if that was paid for insufficient attempt.
Well, kick back inside, finds Nelson, true centre half back. He's got a player with a bit of room to move here on the outside. This is Griffiths, kicks to half forward, that's okay. Found a teammate, that's Lohman. Now, what's the next option? Does he go short? Yes, he does. Sliding in, takes a good mark. And some anties come in. Matty Waters.
It was a great transition out of the back half. You had Morningside player running out there on the wing in Thomas Griffiths. That clearance work out of that defensive 50, fast ball transition, a lot of space inside that forward 50 to work with.
And traditionally too at this ground, we do see a lot of goals kicked from clearance work across half back. So to keep the trend with the VFL, this is a standard setup.
Well, it's good. We're directly behind this kick. Get an idea of how this breeze is moving. Matty Waters, this will be a massive kick. First goal potentially. It's going. It's going. It's there. First goal on the board to the Panthers. Matty Waters, welcome back. to QAFL footy.
That's a fantastic kick off the boot, and it's a great way to start your grand final when you strike the ball so cleanly with a great finish like that. But again, transition from one side of the ground through the middle, really courageous ball movement inside their defensive 50, transfer of play and their transition ball movement was good. And that's probably going to be the difference between the two sides. Morningside a real fast run and gun out of their back half, whereas Redland-Victoria point a little bit more slower pace, and then they transition the ball by a kick mark.
And Morningside fans might have been disappointed that Keegan Downey was unable to take his place in the team due to suspension, but Waters coming in, a fitting recruit, formerly from the Sharks, draw first blood against his former team in the grand final. He played last week as Rowan Smith, he gets his first ordinary one out the way. We'll restart proceedings. So
Clanger of the day, is that what they call it these days? Clanger?
Absolutely.
You can't say that about the umpires.
Not at all. As Huddy and Hodge go toe-to-toe in the middle of Brighton Homes Arena. Lovely work there by Dylan Swan as they push back inside the forward 50 for Morningside. Up towards Waters again, out-muscled there by Williams. Ball hits the deck. Here's an opportunity for Cockatoo. Ball's to ground like a slippery eel. Good ricochet. Spoil attempt there from the Sharks. Good pressure. Ball locked inside Morningside. Bone crunching tackle. And we'll see a stoppage.
Yeah, you don't expect anything different. The forward pressure there from Morningside was fantastic. Locking that ball in. Again, run off half back created this opportunity inside 50.
And that was O'Sullivan with that smother as well. So that was very well done to stop that passage of play from Cockatoo. As Beaufort go up again. Sharks are with it now. Kicks around the corner. Bit up and under. Far side wing. Ball comes to the front. First onto it are the Panthers. No, it was the Sharks trying to intercept. Panthers still rolling the ball around. Little chip kick forward. They're just kicking the ball off the ground, trying to create some space. That was not bad from Miller, but gets intercepted at centre-half back. And here come the Panthers once more.
So Vitali Simmons with a kick out towards Lohman, but that is intercepted momentarily, hacked off the ground there by the Sharks, up towards high half forward. Good bump between two fierce competitors. They run through the corridor now. They've got Stallard at high half forward. A lead is offered by Smith, and it's over his head, just over Cook, back inside the forward 50. Lovely work here by Morningside. That Straker gets the handball over the top now. Morningside on the commentary wing. Right foot kick. Did he get taken down unfairly? Yes, he was, and it means Waters will have the free kick it up forward.
Hosfeld really didn't have to do it. He's trying to stamp his authority early. And the young man, Matty Waters, has touched the ball a couple of times. That's not the best of kick. Gets intercepted by Stallard, and here come the Sharks. They're going overlap, going at half forward. They've got a bit of room to move. McDowell stands the mark for Morningside. Kick to the pocket, looking for Hamilman, and he's got it. Great kick inside 50, and a good lead out from Hamilman. Had the whole inside 50 to himself, plenty of room, and took an easy mark in the end.
Yeah, so already you got Stallard's had two possessions already. He was able to see that quick switch of play out over to Johnson, and Johnson's kick out to Hamilman. I think Hamilman, as good as a full forward he is, he must love some of these players that deliver him the ball the way they do.
You see Hamilton just coming on the ground, one of the inclusions for the Sharks.
Hamilman comes in now. First goal for the Sharks. Leans back. Unfortunately, he's pushed to the left, so it's a minor score. 5 points the margin in favour of the Panthers. 5.5 minutes played, opening quarter.
Appreciate your company wherever you may be watching right around the country. It's grand final day here at AFL Queensland. That was a lovely kick out to Tommy Horn for the Panthers. Looking for Waters up towards high half forward, but Adrian Williams does exactly what he does every day of the week.
Geez, the intercept master for the Sharks. He's been dominant in that spot all year long.
Kick along the boundary line now, back towards Horn, who intercepts. And paddles the ball out towards the boundary line, and here come the Panthers again, but intercepted there by the Sharks as they look to rock and roll up towards centre half forward to a 2-on-2. Hamilman's caught behind. Did he take out his opponent? Yes, he did. Brad Moore did not need to do that.
And they take it quickly here, though. They're off here, Morningside. They've got space out on this side.
Here's a chance. That's Vitali Simmons, fed the handball off, kick towards broadcast boundary line. Good contest, ball rolls over, boundary throw-in. That was Hunkin down there clearing the ball over the boundary line. Well done to him. Boundary throw-in, broadcast side.
Sullivan's just come on the ground along his pass field.
Comes back on. So just feeling each other out early here, these two. Morningside played once in about a month after winning that semi-final against Aspley. There's Petterwood, the goal we were talking about earlier. Gets the ball to Finch. Finch, one-on-one again. Hammerman playing in front. And it's going to be a free kick going to the Hammerman.
It's what he does so well. He gets that front position. He's such a big guy as well, and it's hard to get around. And he wins himself the free kick by just playing that forward front position.
And the Sharks are dominating inside 50 count with a little reward at the moment. They lead that 6-2.
Yeah, this was not a bad kick going in by Finch. The previous one that went to Hamilman as well. It's just the efficiency inside forward 50.
Here comes Hamilman. He didn't miss by much on the kick just before. He'd love to sneak this one through, and he's pushed it left again. So the straight arrow is a little bit off at the moment. Another minor score, 4 points of margin in favour of the Panthers, 7 3/4 minutes played.
They're not capitalising on their chances here, Brad, and that's disappointing from them.
Now, normally you'd see Hamilman be able to go back and kick at least one out of those two. That was one that you'd nearly put him down for. It wasn't a relatively hard kick on goal, but look, in grand final, you just want to keep giving yourself opportunities, so they'll be trying to lock the ball in here now, give himself another shot at goal.
Morningside, cross half back now, or back defensive side of the ground. To find his teammate. Defensive 40. Loving is on up through the corridor. That's ignored. Umpire Frankie Raisin tells him to go. Straight up the corridor now, over the head of the intended target. And it's taken here by the Sharks. Greenaway was that target as Huddy's got a big thumping left foot kick, and he's got a teammate in Josh Brown all alone deep inside the out towards the edge of the goal square. He's caught behind, but he'll be there to pounce. Can't quite lay the tackle. Good work, Josh Brown. Josh Brown with his first. No. Minor score. And the Sharks, they keep peppering away. 7 inside 50s to 2.
No, forward pressure there was fantastic by the Redland-Victoria points players. Again, give themselves opportunity, but they're setting up really well, as they always do behind the football now, Redland-Victoria point.
Geez, pack mentality, trying to smother that ball, set up that opportunity for Brown. They kick from full back, bit of a push on the back on O'Sullivan. Now they're out and running if they're good enough. Steps back inside, not the best of handballs. Instantly under pressure. That's Peterwood out there again for the Sharks. Couldn't get the handball out to a teammate. Peterwood backs up. 3rd, 4th, 5th efforts. Great effort by him. And the Sharks are trying to get out of trouble now.
Dolly Simmons just coming to the ground as well here for the Panthers. The strong mark has been taken. They could switch it out here to Batoli Simmons. They've got a target through the corridor on Nyland Road. Their option is still on. They elect to go further afield. It works for them. They've got Kelly Castle standing up at centre half forward. Here they come, Batoli Simmons, as we mentioned before. He's got a few metres in front of him. He'll be told to go eventually. Batoli Simmons has McDonough short. Finds him, long way out from goal, a bit beyond his range.
Give credit to Redland. They were on the fast break then, Morningside, but they folded back really well. Redland took away all their space inside 50, which slowed that ball transition.
Geez, McDonough had to run about 40 metres to get that handball, to get that lead on. So great effort by him to make some space.
Take a great kick from here.
Gary McDonough, former Bomber, former Richmond. The VFL, McDonough winds up with a left foot kick. He pulls the trigger to perfection and he hits the post. That gives us an opportunity to throw down to our main man, Jack Barry, on the boundary line.
Oh, Madonna started off so well down here. His field kicking has been elite. Really enjoying watching him pushing forward. And Williams in defence has been fantastic.
Play continues now. Morningside again under the pump by the Sharks. That's holding the ball, says the umpire. Good tackling effort there. That was Peterwood again across half back. So next time, he has got a lot of options in front of him. Hosfeld leads, goes to him now. Unfortunately missed him. Hodge gets absolutely poleaxed. That's holding the ball again, and that's Hosfeld out there. He's put in 2 solid efforts there and 1 possession of the footy. Well done.
On the outer side here for the Sharks, who lead the inside 50 count, 7-3. There's an up and under kick without much conviction there on the outer wing. We'll see a boundary throw in on the outer side. Big thanks to our wonderful team here at Double Take, bringing you all the action right around the country.
Yeah, so both teams are struggling just to try and find that easy kick inside forward 50 and have those easy shots on goal, but that's the pressure of grand finals.
Ball thrown back in. Ryan Frovis on that outer side. Huddy taps the ball to the front. Peterwood's hovering around as well. Good tackle laid. That ball's not going anywhere. Stoppage. probably about 90 metres out from the Panthers' goal.
To the surprise of nobody, the Sharks lead, Morningside actually lead the score count 2-0.
Well, intercept masters down there for the Sharks and the likes of Williams, but hasn't found too many times he's been able to be that third option. So the Panthers will consider that a win, make him a bit accountable, make him work for it. As Horn trying to clear the ball there, the Sharks kick down the line, looks like Pendlebury there for the Panthers, intercepts across half back.
Pendlebury for the Panthers, who played in that 2020 premiership in arguably the hardest year that we've all encountered in 2020 over at Yeronga. Very challenging year for everyone, but they're able to walk away with a flag, and Pendlebury was a key part of that as the Panthers push the ball up towards high half forward, finds Lohman, part of the Brisbane VFL lineup. He's got a few teammates out there as part of the Lions contingency. Kick lobbed up and about 30 metres out from goal. Good spoil there from the Sharks defence, able to bring the ball to ground. Lovely tackle there by Campbell Aston, and he was rewarded holding the ball.
One-on-one all around the ground at the moment. No team is trying to put a player behind the ball, just playing that one-on-one football.
O'Sullivan with the kick down the line. It's a 2-on-1 in favour of the Panthers. They punch the ball clear over the boundary line.
You see on the replay there, that tackle there from Campbell. I think you might have his brother Brock covered in that space there, but Brock had 11 touches yesterday, 7 tackles in that VFL preliminary final win, so they're tackling his family in the sides.
Hodge got to the front. Here they come again through Lohman. Kick looking for Purslow, gets over his outstretched hand. Just kept in play, so boundary throw in.
But I feel like that both teams are not going inside forward 50 with much conviction.
No, but I think that's just the pressure of the game at the moment. Both teams pressure around the ball. The player with the ball doesn't have a lot of time to hit those targets. But saying that, both teams are pushing back and defending really strongly.
Daniel Annabelle looks like he's trying to get on for the Sharks.
I saw Mitch Stellard too on the bike too, just keeping that fitness up. It's very hot out there today. Free kick for a hold, so we'll go to the Panthers, who are +1 at the edge of the goal square, so they've got some numbers if they can pump the ball along.
It's Lohman again.
Not winning plenty of the ball. Lohman, the brother of Kai. And he's certainly within range here at Brighton Homes Arena. You can see the similarities there. Let's see what the kicking is like. So Lohman runs off his line, pulls the trigger from 53 metres out from goal. Went the extra distance, out of bounds on the full free kick to the Sharks.
Look at the breeze hold up that ball too. I mean, he was about 55 out from goal, but that ball was almost starting to go backwards. As Aston gets the handball off, rolls, come back into the side a few weeks back before finals. Great tackle there from the Panthers. Peter Wood still maintains possession, trying to look for a teammate towards half forward, can't keep it in.
Low scoring conditions at the moment, but it's just, you mentioned it, we're just going to see a true, genuine fight here.
It will be. Early days, it's the game will slowly open up, but early days you'll find that there'll be one-on-one and the contested ball is going to be so important.
Saw Jacob Lohman getting some treatment there after that kick. The Sharks let him know all about that. Free kick holding the ball. So it'll go to the Panthers across half back. Here comes McDonough. McDonough now takes a little bit off the kick. Probably should have gone a little bit longer down the line. It forces the Sharks now with a right foot kick around the body. Up towards high half forward. That's a mark taken there, I think. It is by Clay Cameron. No, not paid. Umpire in better position than us. And we'll see a stoppage 45 out.
I think both players had their hands on the ball as the umpire just let it play out.
Jeez. I was thinking Cameron was going to... He did everything but claim that mark in the end. As the ball gets thrown up once more, Sharks looking to go into attack. Kick to the top of the goal square. Smith is down there. Ball almost cleared the lot of them. Touched. I think it might have came off a Sharks player just above the knee, so that's touched. So another minor score to the Sharks. Bet they're getting closer at the moment. 0-4 to 4 to 1-1-7. 3 points of margin, 16.5 minutes played.
The Sharks are scoring at 50% of entries. 8 inside 50s, 4 scoring shots. floating kick up towards Loman here on the commentary wing, right in front of us thanks to Bradnam's windows and doors. The floodgates are starting to open up towards high half forward. Waters
2
now
on 1 here.
hits the ground running, right foot kick on its way, Matty Waters! And he kicks his second, and the Panthers have got the dream start. Brad Moore.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Obviously, Loman's been really impressive already. He's the one that came up and received the long ball that came out, went over the Redland-Victoria point player, took the mark, moved the ball quickly. That was the important thing, the one-on-one forward of the ball. And I think that's going to be the key. When you just see a one-on-one, get the ball forward, get it into your front half. And Waters was fantastic. He not only take the contested mark, but then was able to see the free grass. He actually had a 2-on-1 in front of him as well. But his first kick of the day was beautiful. That was just as good.
And it did Sorry.
Well, sorry, Andy. I was just going to say, well, he's coming in the side late, and he's kicked a couple of goals in the first quarter. So it's I think it's a win for the Panthers so far.
And I did like the old WWE reference there. Did they have Galen Johnson, You Can't See Me? And they didn't, Brad Moore, because he got away too easily inside that forward 50.
He did. It was a great finish. It's a great start for Morningside.
Well, McDowell White's moved into the ruck against Hodge. Look at that vertical leap. He won the tap out to Peterwood. Peterwood slams the ball inside tackling 50, but it's going to get intercepted. It's well done, and it's Nelson. Nelson decides to go out wide. Batoli Simmons chips the ball in short. This is Griffiths. Griffiths down the line again. They're just working their way through it. McDowell drops the mark. Peterwood slipped at the worst possible time. McDowell works his way back onto it, kicks it in board. That's okay. Tommy Horn back to McDowell. McDowell not quite sure where to go, so he just chips the ball in short. Hodge, bit of a hack kick, and O'Sullivan intercepts across half back.
Brings it back in board to Peterwood here on the logo. Up towards high half forward, going up a little bit too early. Here comes Housefield.
Over the top.
Over the top of the goal square now, up towards Hamilman. That's intercepted. It would come off hands nonetheless. Tom Griffiths across half back. It's great pressure there, Brad.
It was fantastic pressure. Sometimes when you're running into goal, you don't want more than one decision to make. And unfortunately, there was either kick the goal or go over the top, and he was in between two minds then.
Yeah, chose the third of two options there, up towards the commentary wing. Looking for Loman, brings the ball to ground. Sharks with some numbers at ground level. Paddle out towards the boundary line, still inside the field of play momentarily. Yeah,
look, Redland-Victoria Point are doing everything right at the moment. They're going inside 50 plenty of times, but they're just not able to capitalise in that. 4 behinds on the scoreboard. So I'm really impressed with the way Peterwood's going at the moment. I reckon he's touched the ball about 5 or 6 times in the last 5 minutes.
Jack Rolls back on the ground for the Sharks. Moving to half back. McDowell White playing behind. Got the tap out though. Campbell Aston, bit of a fumble. Peterwood ran past him as well. Dives on the footy. What's the umpire going to do here? He's going to ball it up. Just keep an eye on McDowell White, boys. Just have a look at his vertical leap in this ruck contest against the bigger man. Didn't really get off the ground. Thank you for putting me in a bit of a quandary there as a commentator.
Good time on, Brad. How would you sum it up now?
Oh, look, at the moment, it's been both teams have been pretty level. The stats aren't. There's not much that separates the two of them, but it's in this efficiency inside forward 50.
The Panthers have had 10 rebounds from 50 to 4, so that run and carry, which has resulted in 2 goals from them. There's McDowell White. He was legged. The former Brisbane Lion Category B rookie didn't make his debut, but he is the son of Darryl and his brother, carving it up, one of the elite stars in the NBL, sporting family at its finest. As McDowell White pumps the ball along. The Panthers do have some extra numbers at ground level. Dished out there towards Hodge. The Panthers will clear across half back with an up and under kick, looking for Jacob Loman to fly from behind. That's not needed. McDowell White kills it towards the boundary line. And we'll see a throw in.
Yeah, look again, inside 50s with Redland-Victoria Point. They're probably winning that battle at the moment, but again, not being able to take them up. But Morningside are just congesting that forward 50 for them, which is making it difficult to find any loose player to take those marks. They just need to get a mark inside 50.
Well, those roving players for the Sharks as well, got to get front and centre in front of the likes of Cameron and Hamilman. Brown's been a little bit quiet. McDowell gets the ball on boot. Not too bad across half back. And that's Nathan Smith. Smith kicks the ball long. That's a good mark. Hamilman again. He's taken 3.
That's a great mark. That's a great contested mark, and that's what they're looking for down in their front half. But again, it's a one-on-one, and that's where he's at his best, when he gets just to compete with his own opponent rather than having the second or third man fly in. Now, he's had 2 shots on goal without putting the commentator's curse on him. I reckon this is the one for him.
Well, he's hit a bit of left, bit of right. Just needs to thread it through the middle, Bradley.
Well, Hamilman, he's missed a couple to the left. Can he get a bit straighter here? They need a goal on the board just to calm the nerves. Goes in, coming back, it's home. First goal on the board for the Sharks. First goal on the board for Hamilman. And they head back, 3 points the margin in favour of the Panthers. Tick over 22 minutes played in the first quarter.
Yeah, look, that's going to settle them down a little bit because they have actually been fantastic. They're inside 50s. They've gone at 12-6. They're up by 6 on Morningside. It's just been able to get that score on the board. Hamilman again, great contested mark, and again, like I said, wasn't going to put him down for 3 misses in a row. He's a beautiful kick of the football, and nothing short of that with that kick.
And the clearances too. The Sharks leading that 7-5, but it's a tackle count. Kano, it's 11-7, so the Panthers' pressure is definitely on.
Well, there's a lot of green in Redland-Victoria point stat sheet at the moment compared to Morningside, so they are starting to win their fair share of the ball. And Hamilman finally got a bit of reward for effort.
Oh no, man, Benny is all over it, giving you live stats as they happen. We have never had this in the history of QAFL senior football, let alone grand finals. We've got history created today as the Sharks try to whittle their way out through Petterwood, but it's taken here by the Panthers. Inside the forward 50, looking for the intended target there through the hyphen in Darcy Cameron Reeves. It's Adrian Williams who takes the mark. Now the Sharks will raffle it out through Thompson, who recently had a milestone game, and they'll settle across the outer side.
No, he was dominant in his 250th earlier in the season. He's been a brilliant stalwart for the Sharks over a long period of time. This kick up the line's okay. Now again, Morningside are pretty well set up behind the footy. He's probably going to be forced to go down the line, which he does. McDowell wide playing in front. That's a good contested grab by him. Quickly handballs it off. They're often moving the Sharks. Kick inside 50. This ball's going to get over the back. Smith dropped the mark. He definitely should have taken. Pressure on the Panthers' defence. Use of handball is working so far. Kick down the line. They've got the extra number here, the Sharks. Ball gets over the back. Dad's there for the Panthers. Rolls, wins possession. That kick was smothered, gets a handball off. Looking for a teammate further down the ground. He's got to go long here. Kick to the hot spot. 1-on-1. That's got to be on the man. Play on, says the umpire. Surely that was a free kick.
Got out of position there, the umpire.
Got blindside. The crowd agreed with me behind the boundary.
Adrian Williams is standing out of post. Given no respect.
Ball gets thrown up once more. Hodge instantly gets claimed. So about 25 out from the Sharks' goal, and all of a sudden the Panthers' defence is right under the pump.
Forward pressure's right on here by Redland. Redland-Victoria. They're doing a great job.
Here comes Brown. He turns the ball over now. It's taken here by the Panthers, working hard there as Green away. Made his VFL debut on this ground. Kicked the goal on debut, the 17-year-old. As a push in the back, a somersault would have given them a 10 by the judges from the recent Paris Olympic Games.
Geez, gymnastics, your heart out. That was brilliant.
The umpire said, no, we'll settle with a throw in there. A little bit of mayo on that. Ball out towards the outer side. Sharks with the extra number around this contest. Handball back up towards the corridor now. I think it might be Johnson. Left foot kick. Hacked it inside the forward 50. Looking for house foul. Couldn't quite take the ball. He applies a strong tackle. Hacked out of there by the Panthers. Up towards the outer wing. And there's Williams again.
He's taken 3 or 4 intercepts in this first quarter, so he's dominating that space.
They've set up really well behind the ball. They're going to go inside 50 again. They're repeated inside 50s as the difference between the two sides at the moment.
Dylan Swan just standing alone at centre half back, just blocking that hole for the Sharks, forcing the ball to go out wide. Comes off hands there. It will go out towards said player. In fact, it comes out towards Cockatoo. Brings it up now to the man that we were just talking about. And that's Dylan Swan. And the Panthers, they haven't quite got away with this one yet. The handball was ill-directed. Housefound now. Handball over the top, was looking for Smith. Has to clean up his own crumbs. Here's Swan on the last line of defence. Pendlebury with a thumping left foot kick on the outer side. Ball hits the ground. Umpire pays free kick. Too high, will go to the Sharks.
Looks like Johnson out there, so he's getting the free kick. They're going to play on immediately. Kick to the hot spot again. Finch playing in front. That's a good spoil. Still ends up with Finch, tries to duck the head, gets claimed, that's holding the footy. So he ducked the first one, tried to duck the second, got absolutely poleaxed. And free kick to the Panthers just relieves a bit of the pressure.
They're holding up well when you consider that 16-7 inside 50s at the moment in Redland-Victoria points favour. Morningside's defence has held up really well. Redland just need to, again, lower their eyes and then instead of that just bombing away.
It is a fast track. Seen a lot of high scores in this ground across the year. I think the average winning score is around about 15 goals. It'll be that in the VFL. We saw 10 goals in pretty good conditions Friday night in the AFLW as the Sharks force the Panthers out wide towards Tommy Griffiths now. Not for the first time in the commentary wing. Hits up his teammate at high half forward. Lovely work there by Godwin. Godwin is a known goal kicker, puts it up towards high half forward. McDowell White with the killer spoil. Here comes Godwin, hard up on the boundary line. He's looking for the top of the square. And he's got his target. It was beautifully executed there, Brad Moore.
Yeah, that was a fantastic kick right on the siren as well. And Redland-Victoria Point aren't going to like this. They have dominated probably the last 10 minutes of this quarter of football. And it looks like Morningside, although we can't play on now, so it's going to be interesting to see how he goes from that pocket position.
I think they're allowed maybe half a step inwards now. They've a little bit more flexibility.
He almost marked it in the goal square. But yeah, they've dominated the last 10 minutes, Redland-Victoria Point, but they're going to go in at quarter time behind.
So Jacob Lyman, who's been dangerous up at half forward, he's caught on a very difficult proposition. The umpire, Sam Somerville, is one of the best in the business. Field umpire of the year. Didn't call play on, hits the post. And that's quarter time.
Well, that's a bit of a calamity, a bunch of errors in very short succession. McDowell White was almost putting his fist through the turf there on the boundary line. He knew he made the mistake, tried the blind handball, set up that kick into the goal square, and fortunately for the Sharks, they get let off with that poster right on the siren.
Well, it is quarter time here at Brighton Homes Arena. Wherever you may be joining us, we hope you're having a wonderful afternoon. It's thanks to our friends at Double Take. Coming up on the other side of this break, we'll have a chance to catch up with one of the great legends of Queensland football, Jack Barry. We'll be catching up with him after the
break. Expect the best athletes. Expect unforgettable moments. Expect the spectacular. Expect great from the reigning premiers. It's a new AFLW season, and the Brisbane Lions are on the hunt to go back-to-back. There's nothing like seeing the Lions live. What can you expect from the Brisbane Lions? You can expect great.
Yeah, welcome back here at Brighton Homes Arena, and what an incredible contest that we've got before us. So we'll, in a few moments' time, we will go through the highlights. And gents, let's look at some of the first quarter highlights. We look on our screen at the moment. We see both teams come out with a lot of energy, start the game, and it's something we saw prominently for the full quarter.
Yeah, look, it was a great quarter of football. Both teams just trying to work themselves out, very one-on-one, about winning the territory battle. And I think we mentioned that Redland-Victoria Point were really strong throughout the second half of that first quarter, dominating the territory battle, going inside 50. I think we got 16-8 against Morningside. So Morningside just not working out, not being able to transition the ball with any speed. They did it early in the quarter and were able to score from it, but Redland-Victoria Point setting up really well behind the ball, repeated inside forward 50 entries. The only thing that they would be disappointed with is that for how many 50 entries that they've had, they've only been able to kick the one goal out of the 16 inside 50s. So it's just about efficiency inside forward 50 to put effective scores on the board, but they'll be actually looking at the stats and really pleased with where they've got the game set up through. Morningside, on the other hand, they'll be looking to see how they can transition the ball with a little bit more speed, spread the ground a little bit more, because they've been caught going up and down the lines. But when they do change the angles, they look really dangerous going inside forward 50.
And we saw Matty Waters kick a couple of goals in that first quarter, kick the first goal of the game. He's been pretty good up forward for the Panthers. On the other side of the coin, Hamilman's taken a number of contested marks. I still like the likes of McDowell White, that pinch-hitting ruckman, when Huddy gets a rest. He's shown some promise in that contest against a much bigger opponent in Hodge, even though he made that mistake right on the siren practically at half back. But he's been good for the Sharks. I've liked Rolls, I've liked O'Sullivan as well, and Peterwood's doing a pretty good job in that midfield battle.
Thanks to our great man Ben. I'll go through the leading stats here for this quarter. The Sharks led the clearance 8-7, inside 50 16-8 as Brad highlighted too. Forward 50 marks 2 apiece. Intercept marks Sharks 7-4. Rebounds from 50 15-5. Tackle count that's Morningside. Tackle count 15-12 in favour of Morningside, and the spoil count 7-6. Brad. There's very little separating both sides at the moment.
There is. Probably out of those stats, it's the inside 50 that Redland-Victoria Point are leading 16-8, but then you look on the other side, Morningside have got the 15-5 rebound 50. So it means that Redland-Victoria Point aren't doing a lot of damage, or they're not being damaging going forward inside that forward 50 there. Apart from Hamilman being able to take mark, they actually haven't taken any other marks inside 50 as well. So they're probably the two key stats. As dominant as Redland-Victoria Point have been by getting the ball in there, Morningside have been able to withstand that pressure, and they've been able to rebound the football just as many times as it's been going in. So if there's anything for Redland-Victoria Point, it's been able to, if you get it in there, lock it in there and give yourself an opportunity to hit that scoreboard a little bit more efficiently than what they were able to do. But 5 scoring shots to 4, it's as even as you can have on grand final day.
Well, you look at Morningside as well. Lohman's been really good, hasn't he, across that half forward line for them. Had a few opportunities, you know, and again, it's just a bit of an arm wrestle between the two, isn't it? Those sort of really decent A-grade players, they're just in a bit of an arm wrestle, which is what you expect in a grand final early.
We're going to cut down to Jack with the Morningside coach, Paul Egan.
Morningside coach Paul Egan. Paul, your thoughts on the first quarter?
Oh, mate, that's a good first quarter from both sides. They're always going to come out hard. They're a good footy side, so we've just got to fix a couple of little bits and pieces, and probably trying to be a bit too cute at different times. So now it's grand final, got to take the yardage.
16 inside forward 50s. They had plenty of looks in forward. Your back line work overtime. They've done a good job.
They did work overtime, so it's credit to them. I mean, 1-4, it could have been, you know, they probably could be in front, but it's a good effort by our boys to be able to knock it over the line and get a rush behind and all those sorts of things. So
thanks for your time, Paul. Up to you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much there for Jack Barry, who is one of the great men in all of football here in Queensland. I think Eagles would be pretty. I think he'd be pretty content with that quarter. The intensity from both teams certainly very high.
Yeah, look, he'd be more worried that they probably haven't got the ball in their front half as much as they'd like to, and Redland-Victoria Point have been able to take the ball away and go inside 50 a little bit more easily than what they have. So, but in regards to the contest around stoppages, both teams are pretty even at the moment. It's just the territory battle. And like I said, as much as Redland-Victoria Point dominated the last half of the first quarter, they're still behind on the scoreboard. So it's about efficiency.
Well, hardly a breath of wind out there that's impacting these conditions. This is a genuine dogfight, which is what we like to see. As umpire Sam Somerville puts the ball up in the air. Well, let's see how he goes with the bounce. That is perfection from one of the star umpires of season 2024. It's the Panthers to the left of your screen. It's taken here by Cockatoo. Cockatoo up towards high half forward looking for Lohman. Bounces off his chest as it dribbles out towards the boundary line. And that was out of bounds. We'll see a boundary throw in between Wigan half forward. And today is all thanks to our superstar tech team in Harry, Connor, Josh, Will and John.
I think Lohman looks like the most dangerous forward for both sides at the moment. He's very active, proactive, getting really on the lead, but also at the fall of the ball as well. That's the one to watch for Redland-Victoria Point getting that matchup.
Hunkin looks like he's the matchup from the Sharks as well on Lohman, so it's an interesting battle. Hunkin's got his work cut out, and Lohman's becoming very dangerous. As that ball gets thrown back in, it's Huddy and Hodge once more. Huddy taps it to the front. Good Shepherd put on there. Unfortunately, Annabelle turns it over. Here's a chance for the Panthers to go back into attack. Not quite sure where to go. McDowell probably should have left it for his teammate a step behind. That's tackle. That's got to be gone. Yes, it is. Dylan Swan tripped over at the worst possible moment. Instantly got claimed by Campbell Aston, and he's going to clear from half back. Kicks down the line, looking for Miller. Miller had a really good game last week against the two-time reigning premier in Aspley. Chips to Hunkin.
That's what they do really well, Kane. They just keep control of the ball. They don't go fast when they can't go fast.
Kicks down the line. Smith playing in front. The hero from last week. What's he going to do here? Kicks to the pocket. Hamilton.
That was a fantastic kick, Kane. Sorry, mate. That was just absolutely brilliant. Lace out. It didn't have much room to work in with there. And again, I said before, Hamilton just must love the way these players deliver the football to him.
And the foot skills has been the major improvement, even from this time last year and that that grand final loss. That was massive. Their foot skills have improved through the roof as the years gone on. And Hamilton lines up for his first shot of the second quarter. Well, we were aiming for right to left. He went left to right. Ball still in play. Look at the numbers there for the Panthers. They're trying to come out of trouble. Good closing speed from both the Sharks. Hamill back in board. Got a snap on goal. Got to attack the footy. Tried to get the ball to boot. I think that was Annabelle down there.
Yeah, it was Annabelle. Again, forward pressure there from Redland-Victoria Point was fantastic. Kept the ball locked in, even though Hamilton's kick didn't go all the way through.
That is the fourth time we've seen the margin levelled at 3 behinds. We're racking up a bit of a cricket score in that regard, and this low-scoring arm wrestle as the Panthers will clear out towards the outer side. They've turned the ball over, and an opportunity for Bailey Reeves. Reeves will get on his favourite right foot and come off the instep, but it doesn't matter how they look because he was able to spot up the former Broadbeach Broadbeach Grand Final player, Clay Cameron.
Important player, and again, when Hamilton's not there to step up and take contested marks or on the lead, you've got the likes of Clay Cameron, who I think is one of their most dangerous players, and when Hamilton wasn't out, he was so important for their back half of the season as well. So, again, another inside 50 to Redland-Victoria Point, got to make it capitalise.
Well, you'd be able to rewrite the wrongs from the 2020 decider. Kick 33 goals this year. Make that 33 and change as the margin cuts down to 2 points, 3 3/4 minutes gone here in the second term.
Well, the two key forwards have had a couple of misses early. Look at that kick from fullback. That is ridiculous. And they're often running the Panthers. Oh, look at this. Running into an open goal. Cameron Reeves still going. Chips and misses.
I don't know how you missed that, Kane. Again, sometimes footballers, the more time you give them, the more chances they've got of making an error. But that was the sweetest ball transition from fullback as you'll see.
That was an 80-metre kick from fullback, and they were off and running.
And the breeze is not conducive to that either. If there's a breeze out there, it's very subtle and it's pushing out towards the outer side to where the Sharks are clearing, and they've turned the ball over, taken there, I think, by McDonough. Has Horn standing up around centre-half forward along with Patoli Simmons. Horn will be the intended target up against the much larger Huddy. And Huddy, I think he's given away a free kick, and it means that the Panthers are going to have a shot on goal. And Brad Moore shakes his head. Did not need to do that.
No, he's probably a little bit unlucky. The bigger ruckman against the smaller midfielder there with the kick. But McDonough's starting to put a bit of a stamp on this game now. His kicking skills have been fantastic. That's another probably 50-metre kick to switch the play after that one that came out of fullback.
I thought he was a bit unlucky, McDonough, too, having watched his career over the last couple of years to come off the AFL list and running through the VFL system. As Tommy Horn here for the Panthers' left foot kick. It'll fall short, land about 7 metres out from goal. Lohman now. Lohman on his left. Lohman with the goal. And the Panthers, well, they're ticking all the boxes. They're out to a game-high 9-point lead.
Yep, they go inside 50 just a couple of times, and they're able to make the full use of that by kicking goal. But I said earlier in this quarter, he looks like the most dangerous forward at the moment. Lohman, very creative and very good finisher of the ball. He had a shot just on quarter time that he smacked into the goalpost, but he's very lively at the moment. So again, I think Kane, you said Hunkin's playing on him. He needs to be a lot tighter than that, because when the ball hits the floor on the ground, they've got to make sure that he's not around.
And Horn kicking that ball in short, all of a sudden, that attracted so many numbers from the Sharks into the contest. Lohman stayed down, front and centre like a small forward should. Got the ball on boot quick. Great finish by him.
Panthers led the inside 50s for the quarter 3-2, and they've able to score from 2 of those attempts.
Geez, they needed that first goal, Morningside, just to wrestle a bit of momentum back since quarter time. Hosfeld claimed the tackle there. Huddy and Hodge back in the ruck. Can't really get the clearance there. Ball just bobbing around. Cockatoo trying to dive on it. Panthers are with it now. McDonough, he's getting off the chain in the second quarter. Kicks looking for Lohman. Reach the one hand out. Oh, look at this. Herslow. How did he end up with it? Left foot snap. Minus score. But again,
McDonough and Lohman.
He's getting off the chain. They're both getting off the chain in the second quarter, and they're becoming extremely dangerous.
Just something about Lohman's making a presence at Brighton Homes Arena. It was Kai doing it last year, and he's been playing great footy up in the AFL, and now Jacob, who started the year in the VFL, he's doing some wonderful things here as Huddy with a strong mark on the outer side. Has to go further down the line out towards a 2-on-1 essentially. And it is the 2 that prevail. The Panthers will need to switch it out towards the Coventry side. And Morningside with teams in all grand finals today. They're 1-1 so far after taking out the Colts in a thriller, 49-47 over Wilston Grange. Richard Hall got the honours. They're in the reserves by 9 points as the ball taken out of bounds, and we'll see about it following.
Some of the midfielders at the moment, Morningside, are just starting to get a little bit on top of the Redland-Victoria Point midfield.
Well, you look at the likes of Horn, Swan, Cockatoo, McDonough, Lohman. You're right, Brad. They're definitely starting to impact this game in the second quarter. Ball gets over the back. First on it, though, are the Panthers through Nelson. Kicks out wide, finds a teammate. Now again, they don't want to go down the line, so they're kicking short. That's okay.
Edwards had a very good game. It's fitting that we played that we highlighted in Pregame. He's really stepped up.
Yep. Swan kicks the ball to St Alford. McDonough again. He could kick this. He lines up from 60. Look at that for a kick. What a goal from McDonough, and the Panthers are running away.
Yeah, great finish there. He's got a really lethal left foot kick there. He can kick the ball 50 plus quite comfortably, but we've made we made a mention of it. He is starting to really stamp his authority on the game now. Not just his clearance work, but his finish work as well. He's going through the midfield, running off halfback, just setting the game up for Morningside. And with the likes of Lohman and you made the call of Horn as well. These guys are, again, around those clearances are starting to step up. Peterwood's doing a fair bit of work, but they need a few more to jump on board here, Redland-Victoria Point.
Well, they're just not getting their hands on the ball, but it all come down to that first quarter.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, the inside 50s have changed again, so you got Morningside coming up with them now.
We'll see restarted proceedings here. It's the last 3 goals have gone to the Panthers as Miller bursts through the corridor. He's looking for a teammate who's further deeper. It's been taken there by the Panthers. He'd be told to go now across the
Oh, look out.
Straker turns it straight down the throat there of Clay Cameron.
Geez, great closing speed there. Cameron was in 2 minds. Does he go to the left or go to the right? He decided to hold his ground, tread a bit of water, and he intercepted that very well indeed. And he sets up another opportunity for an immediate response.
He stayed switched on, which is what you need your forwards to do to keep that ball locked inside the forward 50. A must-kick goal for Redland-Victoria Point.
It's Cameron. This will be an instant response. Just pushes to the left. So again, missed opportunity for the Sharks.
See if we can throw down to Jack Barry on the boundary line when we do get an opportunity.
As the Panthers come out of trouble once more. Looking for Dads. Kicks down the line. Trying to get this ball over the back. Didn't happen. So intercept by the Sharks. They're going to go back into attack. That's not a bad kick to Miller. Instantly handballs it off to Peterwood. Kicks to the pocket, and it's Brown.
Yeah, Peterwood's he's been really solid. He's been and Miller's starting to get a bit of more ball in the hand as well now. But again, like they did in the first quarter, making it difficult for Morningside to transition when the ball's deep inside their forward 50. But this is their dilemma today. They've kicked 1 goal, 7. They need to make sure they've got to try and hit that scoreboard, put goals on the board.
Here's a chance from Brown, right on the boundary line, gets called to play on. That ball's coming back, pushed across the face, and again, another minus score. They're tuning up the behinds today. 1 goal, 8-14. 14 points the margin though, still in favour of the Panthers.
Darcy Cameron Reeves marks across half back to McDonough now. Sells some candy. McDowell White kicks along the boundary line, finds Horn. He has to go through the corridor now if he can. Looks to go further afield looking for Waters. Waters out muscled by Adrian Williams. 9 scoring shots to 8 in favour of the Sharks, but they are behind by 14 points as Miller has the ball in hand. Miller now up towards the commentary wing, looking for Smith. Comes off hands, and we'll see a boundary throw in.
I think Williams has taken 4 intercept marks. He's been really solid down there for Redland-Victoria Point.
We'll cut down to Jack Barry on the boundary line.
Yeah, good call, Brad. Williams has been fantastic in defence, just taking the body early and controlling the back line. But Madonna has been sensational.
Thanks, Jack Barry. As the ball goes up towards high half forward now. Looking now for the Sharks. Beautiful tackle. They've got the numbers for Panthers. Panthers now will look to move across half back through Loving up towards the corridor now. Straw mark taken here by Ryan Dadds. Dadds now will look to find McDonough out of the corner of his eye. McDonough now with a ball in hand. Lowers the eyes. Left foot kick inside the forward 50. And that's the mark taken by Jake Godwin.
McDonough again, that's the run he's creating off half-back, whether it be in the midfield or coming off half-back. And something where you got young Finch playing on him there, he's got to be aware that he's the go-to guy. He's the one they want to deliver the ball inside forward 50 because he's so lethal by foot.
So Godwin for the Panthers. He needs to aim for that left-hand goal post. It'll curl back to the right. Oh, we did the opposite. He's kicked a long goal, Godwin. That is home, and he now knows it. They are running away with it here at Brighton Homes Arena. They're 20 points to the good. 14 minutes gone here in the second term.
He's been another one that stepped up in this quarter, Godwin. He's had plenty of ball, moving up the ground and then getting back and being dangerous inside the front half for Morningside. But again, McDonough's the one. He's really taken this game by a stranglehold, and it's something that Phil Cass and the Victoria Point players need to be mindful of.
And again, a couple of missed opportunities down in the Sharks forward line. Missed a couple of shots on goal, and all of a sudden that rebound straight back out. First opportunity the Panthers get, and they nail it. So missed opportunity down one end, taking their opportunities down the other, and that's why the Panthers are on top at the moment. Ball back in the middle. It's going to be Perslow and McDowell White. Perslow probably won the tap out. Here's a chance. Peterwood again. He gets claimed by a Panther. There's Castle, probably the first touch of the day. But guess who it is? Looks like it was Thompson. That back pocket position, one-handed grab, good defending. Kick down the line, looking for Brown, ends up in the hands of Finch. Kick back and forward, just over the outstretched fingertips of McDonough. Ends up in the hands of Peterwood. Players screaming at centre half back. Looks like it's Williams. Kicks up short to Cameron. And a ball led up the ground. Now this is Johnson for the Sharks. Johnson chips the ball to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan can take off. Kick to the hot spot. Who's down there for the Sharks? Playing in front. Ball gets to the front. Play on, says the umpire. Finch lays a solid tackle. Players dive on it. Here's an opportunity. Peterwood got the handball out. It's going to be a free kick. Too high. It's going to go to Peterwood. And that's what we've been talking about, isn't it?
Is it Peterwood or is
it it's McDowell White.
But he did well. He came in hard there, put his head over the ball and won the free kick, which was needed to be happening there. But I really like the way Redland-Victoria Point, even though they're down by 20 points, they're still staying composed and they transition the ball, that kick mark, and work their way at the ground. The one thing that's just letting them down at the moment is they've been able to take a mark inside the forward 50.
McDowell White. He's had a pretty good first half. This will be a bonus. Kicks. It's home. That's a goal they definitely needed. That's their second of the afternoon. And they cut the lead back to 14 points.
Yeah, great finish it is. You called it, Kane. They needed to get a score on the board. Morningside was starting to really dominate the quarter then, and they've been able to just get something that they haven't been able to do. With all their inside 50s, they're +7 inside 50 at the moment, Redland-Victoria Point, but the difference is their efficiency inside 50. You look at one end of the ground, Morningside have been able to kick 5 goals, and that's only their second goal for the Sharks. But it's not through not working the ball through the arcs, between the arcs. They're getting the ball in there. It's just how efficient they're going to be going inside their forward 50 as well.
And a conflict of stats that I'm admiring from our main man Benny at the moment is the rebounds from defensive 50, 20-7 in favour of the Panthers. But it's the Sharks who have had 12 intercept marks to 8. So when they've been taking the intercept marks between the arcs, they're turning the ball over. They're giving it away all too easily as McDowell White hacks it 40 metres inside the forward 50, is looking for Smith, paddles it in front of him, looking to do so to advantage. Lovely tackle over the boundary line there was Declan Willing. And plenty of teammates get around from Smith.
Good clearance by McDowell White, just forcing that ball forward. But you mentioned the rebound 50s, and that's that lack of efficiency inside 50 that Redland-Victoria Point have at the moment.
They need to start winning their fair share of possession in the next 5 or so minutes. Try and restrict that scoreboard. Peterwood again on the right foot. Kicks, trying to find a teammate. McDowell's going to get caught here. It's on the footy. That's all we're talking about. Take your chances inside 50. Those small forwards are going to start laying some defensive pressure. And I believe that was Annabelle on that occasion laying a solid tackle on McDonough and sets up this shot on goal.
Yeah, great tackle by the young fella again. Which speaks to their forward pressure has been quite good. Again, another opportunity in front of goal. Make the most of this opportunity from the young guy.
Annabelle. Very important kick, like most are. Launches. Is it going to hold the line? No, it's not. Just drifts to the right at the worst possible time. Another minus score. 5-4-34 the Panthers. 2-9-21 the Sharks. Just a tick under 19 minutes.
I thought that the grand final will be the biggest game of the year. Free kick for a hold. It will go to the Sharks, but the Danabel announced during the week, Kano, and playing the under-17s game at the MCG in a couple of weeks on grand final day. Oh, the ball goes out of bounds in the ball, but you would have thought a QAFL premiership potential would be your biggest game, playing on the MCG.
Well, when you're playing the curtain raiser to the AFL grand final, Yendi, I mean, geez, you don't get much better than that.
So you know, as McDonough spears the ball up through the corridor, finds Lovey, has Greenaway through the middle of the ground. Lets to go shorter, turns the ball over.
They've got numbers, Redland, if they go fast.
We've got Brown in a good position, not needed. And Cameron will have a shot on goal and put through the second in a row for the Sharks.
A really costly turnover there at centre half back. You had McDonough streaming past for a handball, got ignored, went for the short kick and intercepted by Redland-Victoria Point. And then they had the numbers outnumbering Morningside and they spread really well there. Another great opportunity.
So Cameron here for the Sharks to trim the margin back to single figures. It's coming back nicely. That is as good a kick as you'll see on grand final day by Cameron. And the Sharks have got 2 on the bounce as we hit time on here in the second term. And it's Morningside 5-4-34 leading Redland-Victoria Point 3-9-27.
And if you look at the stats, they're 25. They've got plus 10 inside 50s, Redland-Victoria points. So they're doing a lot right. It's just what they're doing in front of goal. Now, they've kicked their last 2, which is a great effort for them. But it's just a matter of doing that every time they get an opportunity going inside forward 50. So, like I said, the ability to get it there is not their issue. It's just how efficient they are at being able to create easier shots on goal. Now, even that kick there is a 45-plus kick from goal for goal as well. Annabelle had the same. So trying to get that ball inside what we call that hot area, that inside 30, is going to be really important for them.
Ball back in the middle. So important, and as we talk about efficiency, the wind does pick up here at Brian Holmes Arena. The Panthers coming off half-back again, McDowell. I'd love to see his GPS numbers. Gets caught one-handed. Kicks towards the boundary line. Is it going to be deliberate? Yes, it is.
That's tough. He's been swung around by an arm and he just stuck the foot out. But anyway.
Free kick to Brown. Here's another opportunity. He's going to go to the hot spot. Kicks it high up in the air. Hamilman playing in front. Couldn't take the mark. Miller's there as well. Good tackle late. So they're just locking the ball in. 21, almost 22 minutes played in this second quarter. It's almost a mirror image of the first. And back to Chris Yendi.
Panthers 7 inside 50s, 5 scores. The Sharks have been ruthless in return. They have had 7 scores from 9 inside 50s. So Brad, ticking them over. Both teams are efficient. As the Panthers now across half back, left foot kick along the boundary line, looking for rolls to bring the ball to ground. See a stoppage just forward of centre for the Sharks.
Yeah, you made that call, but again, for Redland-Victoria point, it's the 26 inside 50s, only 7 marks taken, and if they can take a few more inside 50, give them a side. But I reckon those 7 marks are, again, that 40-plus distance out as well.
That balance beam is just starting to creep back into the favour of Redland-Victoria point. Speaking of which, Huddy slams the ball onto the boot. McDowell White's around the mark. Great effort, great defensive effort there by Lovick. Lovick chips to centre forward. Ball gets over the back. First onto his rolls. He's got, look at the handball, 20-metre handball. Another handball, Peterwood. Launches the ball back inside, taking 50. 2-on-1, ball gets over the back. Can they keep it in? Smith. Nelson clears the ball over the line. Another missed opportunity for the Sharks. Panthers coming out full back.
Well, they've had 6 of the last 7 scoring shots, the Sharks, for a return of 2-4 to a straight goal as McDonough curls the ball around the body on the bounce. That wind picks up uncharacteristically here at Brighton Homes Arena as the ball's pumped straight back inside the forward 50. Finch couldn't mark the former Southport Shark. He's taken the ground, but Tolly Simmons says, couldn't quite get the opportunity there. They'll look to bring it out now through the corridor now. Through Dads on the outside of the boot there. In fact, it was Swan, and he'll settle across the outer side.
Geez, back and forth here. Perslow with it now for the Panthers. Kicks the ball inside, attacking 50. Gets over the back. Williams trying to track it in front of Cockatoo. Cockatoo trying to dive for a free kick. O'Sullivan ends up with it. And here they come, the Sharks. Looking for Peterwood down the line. He hasn't got a lot to go to. Trying to step back in board. Gets claimed. Got the handball out to Finch. Again, not a lot to go to. So he kicks down the line. McDowell White drops a mark he probably should have taken. Cross up forward. Lays a good tackle. Almost legged his opponent. Play on, says the umpire. And the Panthers coming out of trouble. Ends up with Batoli Simmons.
Back through the corridor now. 9 row. Got a couple of hyphens out there today. For the Panthers, McDonough will be the player in the gun. In fact, that is ignored because Waters, I don't want to call him the super sub in this instance here, Brad Moore, but I think he's more than served his purpose in this game.
That was a fantastic mark. Not much that Williams can do about that running, diving mark. Great effort by Waters there, but just for the last couple of minutes, it looked like backwards and forwards. The message must have been sent out by both coaches just to go hell for leather because it was rebound 50 after rebound 50 then for about 3 or 4 minutes.
Waters has already kicked a couple. 3, in fact 2. He's going for goal number 3. The left-hand goal post to the right. In fact, Wind does it soon. He gets out for extra measure. Takes on Williams. Curls it around the body, hits the fat part of the ball, but it might work out. Lands out towards Cockatoo. He turns the ball over. The Sharks up towards centre half back. And the mark is taken by Tommy Horn. He'll have a shot on goal. Wow. Going to take that moment back?
Yeah, so everyone just reset again. Obviously, the wind has picked up a little bit for Waters to try and take the man on the mark and then and try to take a little bit more grass in front of him. That breeze, you can see the trees in the background over there that is blowing a little bit harder than what it was at the start of the game.
I'd love to have seen McDonough just sort of come back where Brown is and be that thumping left foot option. Just don't know that Tommy Horn, a good left foot himself. I shouldn't have doubted him. Should not have doubted him. Pulls the trigger, and the Panthers. How's that? They're on the march. Margin back to 13 points here at Brighton Hunter Ring.
Yeah, very great finish there by Horn. He's been really good this quarter, had a really big quarter. Him and McDonough, and obviously we said Lohman up forward as well. They've been really solid through the middle. But the midfield, you've got Miller and Petterwood have been fantastic for Redland-Victoria Point. It's a great game of football at the moment, but the difference between the two sides, you look at that goals per inside 50, you've got Redland-Victoria Point going at 10%, which isn't going to win you any grand finals if you can't get that efficiency up, whereas you've got Morningside at least 35% for their inside 50 work that they've been doing.
Geez, they're winning their fair share across half back. They're holding a pretty solid measure sort of forward towards their forward 50. The problem is when the ball gets inside Morningside's forward 50, they're kicking goals, aren't they? So they're getting right on top of them on the scoreboard. As play continues, Smith kicks the ball out. Pendlebury coming back with the fly of the ball. Here's a chance for the Sharks, but it's Nelson. Lovig chips the ball out wide, finds a teammate, comes back in board. Oh, look at Swan. Can he take a mark? Doesn't, drops it, still got a bit of time. Gets around Hamilton, chips the ball to centre forward. Ball gets over the back. Here's a chance for Purslow. Right foot kick. Just snuck it in for a score, but again, as soon as that ball goes inside their attacking 50, they are dominating the Sharks and taking most of their opportunities. That's probably one of their first misses for one of their first inside 50s this quarter. Annabelle, cross half back, took an easy mark, chips the ball to Cameron. Hamilton about 10 metres away. He's not going to go to him, so he's going to go long. Seeing that he just had the footy, who's he aiming for? Hamelman. Got smothered by his own teammate. Annabelle. Back to Hamelman. Good pressure there by Pendlebury. Forces the ball out of bounds on the full.
The Panthers across half back. 14-point lead. Coming up very shortly at the halftime break, we get to call the halftime sprint. We'll have a lot of fun with that, but we've got a fair bit of time here as Nakai Cockatoo, he went on his bike. O'Sullivan gets the free kick. They've got to get going quickly here. They absolutely do in the shadows of half-time here as Jack rolls.
Great kick.
Up to Smith. Got paid the mark, chopped the arms, free kick, and the Sharks will have a shot on goal. The one they need, Pregame.
It is, but the kick by Rolls, I mean, you don't expect anything different from anyone out on that footy field. He's got silky skills, and that was a great kick to Smith. But I think, like we saw at the quarter-time break, you had Morningside having a shot down this end of the ground, and Smith. Now, this will be one that gives them a bit of confidence going into half-time after really dominating the inside 50s, but just not being efficient. Kane mentioned it. Morningside look really dangerous. Look like they're going to score every time they go inside 50, whereas Redland, for as many times as they've been there, really struggling to hit the scoreboard.
Well, if he kicks this, the Sharks will get all around him. He's recruited this team just to do this. Not that, he misses to the far side. It's half-time here. We've still got a little bit of chat time, guys, before we head to the half-time sprint. The 13-point lead. It's certainly a tough game of football. Quality one at that.
Yeah, look, I'll just say that Phil Castle will be really happy with the way they're performing outside of that forward 50 area. I think they're doing everything well through the middle of the ground. They're winning enough of the ball and they're getting enough opportunities in front of goal. But to go inside 50 31 times and only have 3 goals on the board, they've just let themselves down in that part of the game. And that's basically where the ball game sits. Morningside look really dangerous every time they go in. They go inside 50 18 times and they've kicked 6 goals. So for 1 every 3 times they're going in, they're kicking a goal, whereas you go 1 every 10 for Redland-Victoria Point. That's the difference between the two sides. If we had the stats for around the ground, you would say that they're fairly evenly balanced, with only slight changes with a few. But I think both coaches will be relatively happy. It's just the finishing that Phil Castle will be addressing at half time.
We saw the Morningside group have a chat there. We saw on screen just a few moments ago. What sort of things do you think their leadership group would have said to their players?
Oh, look, like Redland-Victoria Point won't be doing anything too dissimilar. They'll be just chatting about where the game's at, what they've been doing well, but parts of the game that they know they still need to improve and get better. They'll know that Redland-Victoria Point are getting a look. And they want to be better at reducing those opportunities for them as well. But they'll know that they've done some really good things in their front half of the ground. And it's about resetting. That's a half of football. And like we saw last night with GWS and the Brisbane Lions, half of football ain't going to win you a game of football. You need to be there for the third and in the end of the fourth as well. So looking forward to how this eventuates after half time.
And guys, we have the half-time sprint coming up very shortly, and then after that we'll throw the highlights for our break. But we did have some great games to start proceedings, and that Colts game to start the day. Morningside 6-13-49 defeating Wilson Grange 7-5-47 with Cooper Joseph for Morningside. He was best of field. That was quite a remarkable performance. Morningside had to come from behind. They kicked 2 goals in the last quarter to win that one. A good game of footy.
No, it definitely was, and went right down to the wire. I personally thought it was definitely going to be a draw, but in the end, Morningside just managed to get on top by a couple of points, and Cooper Joseph from Morningside winning best on ground in the Colts Grand Final, which was a great start for the Panthers for the day.
And we had the reserves. Maroochydore were never really troubled, despite a mini fight back from Morningside in the third term before the Roos held on to win 10-6, 66 to 7-15, 57 to take their first QAFL reserves flag. And this was on the back of the Colts winning the flag last year, and the seniors having been played off in a grand final fairly recently as well. Brad, this Maroochydore, since making the jump to the QAFL, they've been quite successful.
Oh, they have. They've done a lot right. And Steve Walsh up there has taken over as the senior coach. And they came home with a wet sail at the back half of the year. And if a few more results went their way, who knows, they may have been able to scrape into the finals. But they're in a really good position, I think, going forward. Like you said, their Colts have won the premiership a couple of seasons ago, followed by their reserves today, who were really good through. They had a solid first half. They were really dominating proceedings in the early parts of the game. You said that Morningside came back strongly and almost snatched it, but they were able to hold on Maroochydore. But like I said, I think they're going to be a great asset up there on the Sunshine Coast. They are the powerhouse up there between them and Noosa at the moment, and I'd expect big things from Maroochydore over the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, football is it's really thriving over on the Sunshine Coast as well, as we're getting ready for the grand final sprint. And we've been given the dubious task of not knowing the participants, Brad Moore, but
we know the clubs.
Just call the clubs. Exactly. And because I'm from Partial, I'm going with the umpires.
How many clubs? How many? We've got them all out there, have we? Are they all represented?
Well, mostly. Archie Hill, is that from Morningside?
Let's support the umpires, mate. They don't get a lot of support, so opportunity.
From the Labrador Colts,
Tyler Gunn from Labrador. Hopefully he's up to his game.
Resilient in making the shift from Colts to the senior team and playing all 18 games. Hudson, Vivian. Tough crowd here today, boys. From Sherwood, a late in, Billy Boga. There should be some people here for this. From Redland-Victoria Point, last year's dominant winner. He wants to defend his title here today. Jack Geary. From Mount Garrett, 2024 QAFL Rising Star nominee. At this rebuilding club, Caden Corby. From Palm Beach, Currumbin, a superstar. 2024 QAFL Team of the Year, kicked 55 goals. Late scratching. Here's one for you. He's the 2023 runner. From the Panthers, looking for redemption. From Morningside, Shaquille Shaq McLeod. And we can't get anything done without these. I know there's some umpires on the hill. Have we got some umpires up there on the hill? We've got Lachlan, Ryan, Tribal Sports, David Lake, giving away a cash prize to the winner. Have we got slow hand clap in us, people? Let's get the boys going.
So here we go, the famous grand final sprint. And the crowd is getting behind it. Everyone on their feet, holding with bated breath.
Silence.
They're in C at ground level. We are going the umpires today.
And it's started well. The umpire in the middle's coming up. Morningside one. Jack Hughes from Redland from the 20 point. I think he's got him. He wants back to back. Merchant all coming. This is going to be close. He's gone back to back. He's gone back to back.
So the Sharks,
Geary.
Jack Geary from the Sharks.
Very happy with the great man.
Jack Geary from the Sharks, that may be the best winner today. Forget
Very
premierships.
quick there, mate. What was the time, you reckon?
Oh, I've got no idea, mate. Get his feet back up here on the old deck. It's good, but
How's that? Yeah,
probably
the other two coming from behind, never.
Good run, mate.
They weren't in the picture at all.
Let's give everyone a round of applause. Super everyone, all the runners making the trip up. Thanks so much.
Wow.
Jack is our winner.
Jack Geary from Redland-Victoria Point. He's your winner of the grand final sprint. It's half time here. We'll be back after this short break.
Probably going to go long. Yes, he does. To the goal square. Oh, what a grab! What a grab!
Expect the best athletes. Expect unforgettable moments. Expect the spectacular. Expect great from the reigning premiers. It's a new AFL. Expect the best athletes. Expect unforgettable moments. Expect the spectacular. Expect great from the reigning premiers. It's a new AFLW season, and the Brisbane Lions are on the hunt to go back-to-back. There's nothing like seeing the Lions live. What can you expect from the Brisbane Lions? You can expect great.
Yeah, you've definitely got to expect great when it comes to the AFLW, because we've got the big action coming to your way this Wednesday night from 7:15 p.m. Get your backside trackside to Brighton Homes Arena. We've got the Brisbane Lions taking on the Western Bulldogs. That is one big game that's coming your way. We're going to have a look at the highlights from the first half. Will come up on our screen. My name's Chris Ian, joined by the great man, Brad Moore, 2019 Premiership coach from Surfers Paradise. And, well, you can see earlier on that Matty Waters, he got in on the action very early on the piece.
Yeah, two first quarter goals by him. Beautiful kick to start the scoring proceedings off for Morningside there from outside 50. And then he ran and play on, and probably just as good a kick running into open goal. So the difference between the two sides was their ability to kick goals, Morningside, whereas Redland-Victoria Point for all their time inside 50. We've got Hamilton here, who's his third shot on goal, and we put him down for this one, but he doesn't miss many, but he was able to just steady. You saw the scoreboard there, 4 points, and just steadied the ship there for the Sharks during that first quarter. You see there with Lohman. Fantastic goal. He was really dangerous in that early part of the second quarter. Looked dangerous in the first quarter, and McDonough with his powerful left foot kick. He was probably the best player on the ground during that quarter as well. Looked the most damaging, looked the most dominant, coming off half back. Every time Morningside had an opportunity to get the ball through his hands, they were able to give to him.
See that lovely finish there. At a crucial point to open up a handy 20-point lead, Godwin, who's kicked a bag of 6 in recent seasons, and McDowell White, Morningside have really benefited from him in the team.
Yeah, he was good. Obviously, a bit of the second string ruckman, but he won a free kick there. Got his head over the ball, won the free kick, and a goal that they really needed to get for all the work that they had. And Cameron again, he's been really working hard across half forward, trying to give that option. He's taken about 4 or 5 marks, and that was another great kick. But the difference between the two sides, other than McDowell White's free kick, that's where their kicking distance at goals are coming from. They're 40-plus kicks, and that's the difference between the two. Horn here, another beautiful left foot kick that Morningside have. A couple of great left footers in their side that really strike the ball nicely, but he had a really good quarter as well. It's a real battle between the midfield at the moment.
We're just looking at the stats for the second term. The clearance count, 7-6 in favour of the Sharks. Inside 50s, 15-10 in favour of the Sharks. Marks inside 50, 5-3 in favour of the Sharks, and you can see a trend happening here. Intercept marks 6-5 in favour of the Sharks. The rebounds from 50, 11-4 in favour of the Panthers. Tackle count 14-9 in favour of the Sharks. Spoils 4-3 in favour of Morningside, and that's thanks to the great man Benny, who has been carving it up today. We've been given and from the stats are proudly brought to you by iSports Solutions. Full match stats available on the website tomorrow. They have been absolutely wonderful. And we've had Benny helping us every step of the way, but it's great for the first time ever, Brad, to have access to live stats during the game.
Oh, it is good. Yeah, it saves us having to try to figure it out ourselves and have our head down working with just the pen and paper. But he's been fantastic. The one stat that I do want to highlight is, and we talk about the efficiency inside 50, it's the scores inside 50. You've got Morningside going at 61% compared to Redland-Victoria Point 45. Now the goals inside 50, that's even more drastic difference between the two. Only 9.7%. So for as dominant as Redland-Victoria Point have been at getting the ball inside 50, they have just lacked that efficiency or that ability to get some really good shots on goal, which is really the difference between the two sides. You can look at the scoreboard and you can see what's that, a 12-point lead to Morningside, but when you look at the stats, Redland-Victoria Point are pretty much ahead and leading in most stats for the whole game at the moment. So obviously the biggest stat that you need to worry about at the end of the game is the scoreboard stat, and what that says is going to dictate the game. But Redland-Victoria Point, they won't be panicking. They know they're doing a lot of things right. If it's only just the goal kicking to clean up, as a coach, you can live with that.
Absolutely, and we can live with the fact that we've got a wonderful team with us today in the biggest ever production that we've ever seen in the history of a QAFL Grand Final. From Double Take, we've got our mates Harry, Connor, Josh on the cameras. We've got Joel, who is our producer here at the ground. We've got Will in the studio, and then of course we've got Benny from iSports bringing you all the stats, and then we've got Kano, we've got Brad, Jack, and myself. We're bringing you all the action. This is a quality outfit for a massive day, but how exciting is it to have Grand Final football here at an AFL venue, something that resonates with you quite well because you were able to coach a premiership at an AFL venue.
Oh, it was fantastic. We were lucky enough in 2019 to be out there at what is now known People's First Choice. So, but to be out here at Brighton Homes Arena, the field conditions are fantastic. Obviously, the facilities are great. For the spectators, it's a great venue to watch football from as well. You cannot not see the game as clearly as you need to see it as well. So it's a fantastic achievement by AFL Queensland to get this as their grand final venue. And look, the players will appreciate playing on a great elite level playing arena as well, because they don't get that opportunity too often. Only those who are making their way through either the academies or obviously into the VFL program. But for the QAFL players here, it's a thrill for them to get out on such a fantastic venue.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking at the highlighting of the AFLW. With the presence that they have, as we mentioned before, we've got a big blockbuster game between the Lions and the Bulldogs. But Ethan Peterwood, Kano, what a first half. We've got him on screen at the moment. Peterwood has been a big, important aspect for this Sharks final.
No, he's just been short and sharp, hasn't he? He's been really clean below his knees, smart with the ball in hand. I mean, he hasn't dominated the first half, but he's taken a few opportunities, set up a couple of plays, trying to motivate his teammates to slowly but surely try and creep on top of their direct opponents. And Peterwood, I thought after his final series, doesn't surprise me one bit he's had the first half he's had.
But Brad, from the Sharks, who are some of the players outside Peterwood who are basically going to say, hey, come with me?
Oh, look, I think Miller started to really to step up during that quarter as well. I think he was as important as Peterwood was. Look, I'd like to see Huddy really start to dominate around the ground. He's such a big guy as well. Clay Cameron took a few marks inside forward 50. The one player that has probably not had as big an influence as we normally see in the front half for Redland-Victoria Point is Josh Brown. And I know he's one that at any moment, we talk about it might not be your game, it could be your moment. He's one that I know that if the opportunities get presented to him, he's going to be a really dangerous factor, and he hits the scoreboard really well.
Let's look at Morningside. They'll be feeling pretty comfortable. Kane Browning, they lead this one by 12 points at half time. You can see them warming up on screen. The last one's out of the rooms. They'll be feeling pretty comfortable, led by this man, Tommy Horn.
No, Tommy Horn's been dominant, but again, a bit like Peterwood. He hasn't dominated that first half, but he's presented well. He's had a couple of opportunities in front of goal as well, which you wouldn't expect. He's played a little bit at half forward at times, resting from that midfield battle. But the one for me is McDonough. I mean, he's been an absolute dominant force. He's running between the arcs. He's covering so much ground. I think I did mention in that second quarter, if you could only have his GPS numbers at half time, he'd be covering a ton of Ks in that first half, and he's definitely presenting well in that midfield role.
We mentioned Josh Brown. I mentioned Josh Brown for Redland-Victoria Point up forward. The one that, again, come the second half, we'll see what influence he has. But Nakai Cockatoo, he's been thereabouts, but he hasn't really dominated anything at the moment. But you know that given his opportunities, he could be really dangerous and damaging up forward. So he's been well held at the moment, but the game has been mostly played in the Redland-Victoria Point end of the ground. It's just the efficiency of Morningside being able to be in front on the scoreboard.
I tell you what, guys, I was just standing outside of the half-time break. That wind has definitely picked up a few knots since the end of that second quarter, and it's going to be very interesting to see how both sides try and go either with or against that breeze in this Premiership quarter as the third.
And they'll be all playing for this illustrious Premiership Cup, which is there on the boundary line. It's got the best seat in the house. Make that the second best seat in the house, because we've got the best seat in the house being in your company for Sunday afternoon grand final footy. That is a Premiership Cup Well, the Sharks don't have one of those yet in the QAFL, and Morningside are chasing their 11th. We're going to see history made either way.
Who knows, mate? Who knows? So look, we're in for a fantastic. This quarter is going to be as important as any quarter has been played this year. It's you've got Redland-Victoria Point with 14 shots on goal to 11. So they need to make the most of their opportunities now. They've been able to go in, settle down, assess where they can improve both sides, how they can be more efficient going inside forward 50. Looking forward to a fantastic quarter of football.
And it looks like Horn and Peterwood are going head-to-head to start this third quarter. Arguably the two sides' best players on the ground so far. It's good that Horn's playing a pretty good game, because that's my pick for best on ground this afternoon. I'm generally not the best tipster, so we'll keep that in mind as the game progresses. But we've got Hodge and Hetty back in the ruck. Hodge got the tap out, but the Sharks rove it well. And it looks like Castle, who laid a pretty good tackle. And again, another quiet player for Morningside this afternoon, but he's going to launch his ball into attack for the first time. About 30 out on a slight angle, ball rolling towards the boundary line. Tried to handball it back, was Hunkin. Couldn't keep it in. Boundary throw in right on the 50-metre arc from their goal.
Seeing Annabelle running around for Redland-Victoria Point, playing in a senior grand final, running around the MCG in a couple of weeks. And we saw Ty Gallup running around and making his VFL debut for the Brisbane Lions yesterday, and also one of those players in line for the draft. He's here today watching on with great interest as Hodge hacks it forward there for the Panthers. Inside the forward 50 now. Lovely pick-up. Back to Batali Simmons. Left foot kick around the body. It'll bounce 25 metres out from goal. There's Williams. Like a ball at a gate. He pushed the ball further afield. He'll get the free kick nonetheless, and Cameron will have the ball on the outer side. He doesn't know it yet, but he should have.
I think that's Johnson out there.
Yeah, I thought Cameron originally being closer.
Well, Williams wasn't happy with the treatment either. That kick back and board to Hunkin.
So Hunkin across half back for the Sharks. He's told to go. Left foot kick, hugging the boundary line now. Expect the big fly. Now the umpire just deemed that to be a footy collision, and in fact the outer zone umpire, Brad, saw
a long way out of zone too. He's over nearly this side of the ground, but he saw the collision between the two, paid the shepherding in the marking contest.
That's Hosfeld out there for the Sharks. He hasn't taken his opportunity so far in this game. Kicks towards Hattie. Dropped the mark he probably should have taken. Here come the Panthers. Back inside attacking 50. Oh, great contested mark. And guess who? Cockatoo. Decided to play on. Don't know why. Thompson with the smother. The Sharks through Annabelle, coming out of trouble. Kicks the ball, finds Stallard. He definitely seems to have recovered. McDonough balancing that. Here's a chance for the Sharks. Annabelle handle the ball. Great kick to start forward to Brown. Now where does Brown go? Hamilman going back to the square. Got to get to him. Hamilman brings the ball to ground, but Horn for the Panthers rows it, kicks it out, and look who it is. That's Dylan Swan.
They're on the outer side now, the Panthers. The kick was ambitious there from the Sharks. Hamilman was caught from behind as Waters marks a long way out. Lohman offers a lead. He'll have to come from behind as well. He finds himself in front position. Brad Moore, that was beautiful.
Yeah, he's read the flight of the ball really well then and was able to take an easy, uncontested, well, it was contested, but a chest mark in front of his opponent, but just read the drop of the ball really well. You called Swan. Swan's had a really fast start to this quarter. I'll go back to what you mentioned about Brown. That's the difference at the moment. They chip the ball Redland-Victoria Point and they work their way up the ground with short kick marking, but then once they get to 50, they just bomb the ball in long, and Hamilman seems to be such an important target to them. If they just lower their eyes and use that short kicking, they can get some better shots on goal.
Well, Lohman, who started the season off in the VFL, he's going for goal number 2. He's been in sharp form. He's kicked the first goal in the second half, and Morningside open up a handy 18-point lead. And while he's coming back from the VFL, we have to mention there is one Sharks outfit, Kane Browning and Brad Moore, that is off to the big dance next weekend. Next Sunday afternoon, we've got Southport representing Queensland against Werribee in the VFL Grand Final. How good is that?
They were fantastic yesterday. The poor conditions down there in Victoria against Footscray, but they were fantastic, and it's great to see them in another grand final 2 years ago. They were in one against Melbourne, and they unfortunately fell short. But looking forward to watching them next week.
Geez, played all my junior footy at the great Southport Sharks Footy Club. Brings back a lot of memories. Unfortunately for me, played in 6 grand finals in 7 years and didn't win one. So that wasn't a great effort on my behalf.
They did win the QAFL W Grand Final, Kano, so
They
it's all
did.
turning since you've left.
So that's okay. Doesn't surprise me one bit as Huddy lays a good tackle. Players dive on it. Umpire got blindsided, so no free kick there. Yeah, trying to forget all those lost grand finals back in the day. It was a long time ago. Huddy again got the tap out. Peterwood gets the clearance. Bailey Reeves been very quiet by his standards this afternoon on the outside of this contest.
Yeah, look, it's a really close game. Redland-Victoria Point really look like they're going to be dangerous. They just keep building this tempo up, and they can over the last few weeks, they've been winning these types of games. So they just want to keep their head in the game.
Free kick going to Morningside. So they're going to pump the ball back in towards half forward. Cockatoo's down there. Great contested mark there by O'Sullivan. Kicks the ball up. Here's a chance for him to go through the corridor. Rolls. Not quite sure where to go though. Chips the ball out wide. That ball got intercepted. And here come the Panthers again. But, Hamilton left it behind for some reason. Williams dropped the mark. That little chip kick back into some open space. Who's going to win this contest? Panther attacks the footy, gets a free kick for a head high, and sets up another shot on goal.
A bit of miscommunication there between Williams and Hamilton. I think Hamilton was ready to take the mark, but then Williams, he knew was behind him, and then he pulled out right at the last minute. And it allowed Morningside in. You would have thought that Redland-Victoria Point would be able to take an easy mark there and rebound.
Yeah, just have a quick look at that replay. Cockatoo, little chip kick in. Now, yes, the free kick was definitely there. Unfortunately, it was Rolls. And the free kick's gone to Matty Waters. Comes in. Right foot. Slams it into the woodwork. So, a miss to the Panthers.
It's a bit of a let-off for Redland-Victoria Point.
Well, it's 19 points to margin. We've had a game-high 20 points. Favourite Morningside is Smith, the Nathan variety across half-back, riding the high of last week's Herculean effort. Kick up towards the commentary wing. Big fly that will see the ball hit the deck here at ground level. Picked off there by Will Pendlebury. Tried to find a teammate under pressure. Patoli Simmons back to McDonough. McDonough up the corridor now. Lovely work there to Swan. Swan's got the lead there from Waters. He has to hit him now. That option is ignored. So Pursley will have to be the player in the gun. He's around 3 Sharks, but will end up being a 3-on-3 when the ball hits the deck. Taken to ground. Sock it off the ground inadvertently. And going through was White Greenaway. We'll see a boundary throw in, 55 out from goal.
McDonough's kicking under pressure. Just really nice, cool, calm and collected decision maker. And Swan again, I reckon he's had about 4 or 5 touches this quarter. Swan, he's been really good.
And it's all been important touches too from Swan. It hasn't been the easy ones out the back. Here comes Castle. Gain influential in this third quarter. Players come together, playing in front of O'Sullivan once more. Looking to switch. Morningside have closed that one down. So he kicks up the line. Herslow drops an easy chest mark in the end. Got the handball out. Castle again. Steps, weaves, dodges. Gets back on the right. Decides to go backwards. Finds Lovick. Lovick to centre half forward. Leading player there. Great mark. In front of Williams.
They're getting smashed at inside 50s. Sharks 7-1. That's just how good Morningside have been.
Handball's off to McDonough. McDonough goes long. Just offline. Minor score, and again, another missed opportunity.
Well, we've seen this in the first half, but it was from Redland-Victoria Point, peppering the goals, but just not able to capitalise. Morningside well on top at the moment.
1 goal, 2 now from basically 8 attempts. As Annabelle will be the player in the gun. He's focused. Housefields further down the line. He's kicking to that breeze. It's a beautiful smother nonetheless. Ricochets out to Petterwood. Good running work here by Annabelle. Will be doing it at the G in a couple of weeks' time. He's starting to impress. One of a few Sharks that are really holding their head up high. Brown, right foot kick, outside step, finds Housefield. Got to go further up towards centre half forward. There's definitely options there. Finch might be here for a front and square out towards Hamilman. Beautifully wrapped up. And we'll see a stoppage 52 out.
They've done well there to get a stoppage here. Try to lock the ball in their front half now, but again, Morningside are for falling numbers back, making it hard for transition for Redland-Victoria Point.
And he got the tap out on that occasion. A little chip around the corners. Going to stay in play, looking for Perslow. Can't keep it in. Boundary throw in. Just to the left of us here on this broadcast side. Nelson looking to come back on for the Panthers. Buying his time. That ball's going to get thrown back in. Hodge and Huddy. Huddy's probably had the advantage in that contest this afternoon. Annabelle lays a good tackle.
This game proudly brought to you today by Bradnam's Windows and Doors.
Braxton Barton's double take as well. Thank you very much for your contribution this year. Handball out. That's okay. Oh, great steal by Annabelle. Here's an opportunity. Kicked half forward. Playing in front with Smith. Dropped an easy chest mark.
It's been an almost game from Smith today, hasn't it, Brad?
Almost, yeah. He's had some opportunities. I'm really liking what Annabelle's doing at the moment as well. He's had plenty of the ball, rebounding the ball off half back and setting up some forward attacks here for Redland-Victoria Point.
Every throw in here, 52 metres out from the Sharks' goal. Huddy and Hodge will lock horns again. Hodge be able to bring it down the ground. Hack forward there by Horn. Up towards the middle of the ground. There's no one inside the forward 50 for the Panthers. So it'll be a chaos ball no matter which way you spin it. Waters, he's got Lohman, who was able to peel off the side. Brings the ball to ground, taken there by Hamilton. Hamilton just throws the ball in the boot. Johnson now, overcommitted. McDonough has a teammate over the top now in Nyland Rose. Squeezes it out now on the outer wing. Bang, good work here by O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan will go up towards high half forward. They need to find a target. They're denied, and Finch has given away a free kick to the Panthers on half back.
Not the first half. It's just that front half ball delivery that they're just struggling with Redland-Victoria Point.
The half forward line, they're so struggling at the moment. Is Tommy Horn, Team of the Year rep this year. Well done to him. As Panthers trying to go back into attack. They're about 80 metres out from goal, so we'll kick to about 35. Playing in front, that's a great contested mark. And again, this man right here, is that Matty Waters again?
Yes.
He is dominating the ball inside 50 at the moment for the Panthers.
I'll tell you the other two that are dominating. As good as McDonough is with ball in hand, I've been really impressed with Swan. Swan's had a fantastic quarter, and Tommy Horn. They've really started to dictate what's happening through the midfield. Redland-Victoria Point midfielders just can't get their hands on the ball.
Waters, I reckon he would have taken 4 inside 50 marks as opposed to the 9 total.
Waters comes in. Could be sub of the year. Leans back. That's just snuck in for a minor score. So, again, it's just hovering around that 21. You know, it hasn't really increased bigger than the 20-point margin. It's 21 points now in favour of the Panthers.
Considering they've had 9 inside 50s, it's lucky that they haven't been put away here, Redland-Victoria Point.
Oh, this game high margin as well. 1-3 to nothing in this quarter. In 12 minutes of 13 minutes of footy. The inside 50s, the stats, thanks to our man Benny at iSports, are painting the picture for you as much as we're trying to. Didn't go the 15 here as Campbell Aston had nowhere to go. Out now to Johnson. Has Peterwood there. Well, if you want to sum up just where the Sharks are at the moment, that does it all, Brad.
Yeah, look, they're trying to create something with some overlap handball. That's because Morningside had got the numbers behind the ball. They just couldn't kick the ball. What I'd like to see Redland-Victoria Point do a little bit more is just change the angle, come back through the corridor a little bit more. They're just going up and down lines at the moment, and it's just playing into Morningside's hands.
Those half forwards for Redland-Victoria Point too, against the breeze, they're running away from the player with the footy. They've got to do some short lead-up plays and try and create some space in behind. As speaking of which now, gets over the back. Player out for Redland-Victoria Point at the moment. Keep an eye on that. McDowell, dangerous kick on the switch. Hamilman's there for the Sharks. Kick towards the pocket. Finch.
This is his bread and butter too, Byron Finch.
It's Smith here down for the Sharks. Not quite sure what went on behind the play. It was definitely off the ball.
It was just a contest between when McDonough came for the ball and you had Stallard in the contest as well. It's just a big, heavy contest by the players. Nothing in it.
Now, Finch, to say he has to kick this goal would be an understatement. Comes around, and again, he's just snuck it in for a score. So they moved to 3-12-30, would you believe, to 7-8-50. Back to that 20-point margin. 14 and a half minutes played, premiership quarter.
Well, this game has gone for 72 minutes and we've seen just 10 goals. The conditions on the ground, it deserves more than that. It's not what we're seeing at the moment. 30 scoring shots, however, high in accuracy as the ball goes out of bounds. We did see that in the first few games as well, with totals of 7-15 and 6-13, but player error, I think, Brad, sometimes has to take.
Oh, look, it just shows you the pressure in the game is still red hot at the moment between the two. But again, both teams are defending really well, which makes it really hard to find easy targets.
Boundary throw-in on the outer side. Hodge brings it down to ground. McDowell White crunched. Gets a handball over the top fortuitously there for a teammate under a fair bit of pressure. And up by Frankie Raisin. We'll see a boundary throw. A ball up just metres in from the boundary.
And that's what you want from the big man Hodge. Just get into the body of McDowell White, who's a much smaller body. Knock him around a little bit. Force him to make some decisions. Speaking of decisions, here's one for the Panthers. Kick to centre half forward, and Smith. He's been solid down there at centre half back. Not quite sure where to go, so he chips it up the line, and guess what? He's turned it over. And here come the Panthers once more. Feeds a handball off. Kick inside, attacking 50. What is this there? Couldn't take possession. Lohman lays a solid tackle, locks the ball in. About 35-40 out from the Panthers' goal.
So that's where I'd like to see Smith off halfback. Just change the angle. Morningside are playing for up-the-line work and short kicks from Redland-Victoria point. They just need to change the angle. It only has to be slight just to get them off their line.
Brad Moore, your 2019 QAFL Senior Premiership coach. As McDowell White, handball dispossessed. Nakai Cockatoo stripped of the ball, holding the ball, in fact.
That's about the fourth time he's been caught on the board today. Cockatoo.
Former Brisbane Lion and Geelong. Utility is Nathan Smith. Brad Hodge is just sitting a kick down the line here, so he might have to alter direction. In fact, he's just going to kick it straight down his throat. Hodge, every day of the week, well through his hands there, but he had teammates there in support. Handball back in there from Pendlebury. Nolan Rowe, handballs over the top now. Good work, Byron Prince. 1% is at its maximum.
They're the little things that just lift your team a little bit when you're just down and the scoreboard shows you're trailing a little bit. Just those little 1%ers are going to make a big difference.
But we're talking about Hodge down the line, but again, those forwards are going to lead up to the player with the ball. They're going backwards, and the guy's kicking into the breeze. It's always going to drop short. They've got to be smarter than that. Finch, they got away with that one. Great 1%er there. Campbell Aston lays a solid tackle, dropped the ball. Umpire says a throw, so that free kick's going to go back to Campbell Aston. Been very quiet by his standards.
Because I said he was going to get best on, Kano. He said, well, I'm going to tell.
Well, I said he was going to be best on ground last year. And he didn't have a great day either. Rolls, ran into a bit of trouble. Hambleton chips the ball. That's a chop of the arms. No, says the umpire. So Dads with the defensive pressure there, force the ball out of bounds.
I was with you there, Kane. I thought he chopped the arms. A bit unlucky there not to receive the free kick, if not the mark. But again, had an opportunity to go inside 50 there, and they've turned it over again.
Well, defend the umpires in that case there. Frankie Raisin was caught on the corridor side, unable to pick that one. As Hodge brings it down to ground again to Patoli Simmons.
Bailey Reeves with a really good tackle there to lock that ball in.
I see Bailey Reeves tear this game apart. They need someone. He's the guy to do it, but it's not going to happen because the Panthers.
Oh, bang!
The Panthers are switched on and they're roaring at the moment. A free kick for a hold. So they've got a one-on-one inside the forward 50.
Hunkins hurt.
Roman's on his own.
And that kick, well, that's not conditions. That's pressure. That's player error. We'll see a boundary throw-in.
Geez, Hunkins holding the rib cage on the left-hand side. He's not feeling too well at all behind the play here.
Probably see that on the replay here, thanks to our friends at Double Take.
Watch this for a collision.
Crunch. There's rolls bouncing off, and yep, and there's another one. Yep.
Delayed reaction there by
I think he pulled the
Hunkin.
player onto him.
Yep. Oh,
And the boundary umpire goes down, so
calamity of errors there.
bit of Benny Hill music would be needed right now. But 1-3 to 1 point in 19 and 3/4 minutes of footy. As we do see on the bench that Hunkin is tucked up there on the boundary line, and he's being treated.
He's trying to keep that rib cage intact at the moment. Huddy got held by Hodge. Play on, says the umpire. Bailey Reeves tried to dive on it. Miller's around the mark. Good pressure there by Johnson. Force the ball out of bounds once more.
I've just been firmly reminded by the voice of women's footy here in Queensland, Daniel Viles, that Panthers do not roar. Yes, they do on grand final day, because I said so.
I've seen the Panthers roar before. They've been roaring in the NRL for the last few years, that's for sure.
Badger throw in, the ball paddled out towards
Sorry to bring the NRL into this. We are watching Australian rules football.
Never heard of it. I've lived in Queensland. I'm a Queenslander, not have heard of it at all. As we hit time on, Brad. You also not.
Look, it's been a real arm wrestle at the moment. Look, Redland-Victoria Point will be pleased the fact they've only let one goal kicked against them. So it's a real arm wrestle. No one's given away much at all.
Well, the Panthers back inside the forward 50 from Lovick. Looking for Lohman. And who else? It was his brother that lit up the GWS game last night to lead the fight back, and he's doing beautiful here.
Reads the ball so well in flight. I said before earlier on in the game that he looked like one of the most dangerous forwards. Him along with Waters, that's why they look so much more dangerous inside their forward 50 Morningside when they get the ball there. Redland-Victoria Point, unfortunately, Hamilton's had a little bit of a quiet day since the first quarter, but this goal's going to really hurt if he can put this on the board.
So Jacob Lohman, bit of right to left about this one. Out of bounds on the full. We now cross down to Jack Barry for his latest insights.
Yeah, I really like the quarter of the Morningside of Swan, Pendlebury and Horn. They're racking up, getting plenty of the ball, but they're not making the most of it going inside forward 50. And just on the injury concerns for the skipper, Stellard and Hamilton, they're both stacking up okay. Looks like they'll be able to run the game out so far.
Castle with it now. Thank you very much to the great man Jack down the sideline. Get back to him at some point before three-quarter time. Lohman lays the pressure. The thing is, for me, that matchup with Lohman, you had Thompson on him a little bit earlier. I really didn't like that matchup at all. Hamilton looks like he's moved to him now, a bit of a bigger body. Smith's trying to help out as well, but he's attracting a lot of attention, is Lohman. As play continues now, Swan playing from the back. Ball gets cleared. Hamilton.
Space.
Who's at home for the Panthers?
Paddock now.
Here's a foot race. Hosfeld bounces to the left. Oh, he's got a teammate there. Ends up still with Hosfeld. Got the handball out. Players come together. Ludwig lays a brilliant tackle. Yep. And it's on the ball, says the umpire.
Yeah. Now, the reason for that is he's ducked his head, and the moment you duck your head while the possession of the ball, you forfeit prior opportunity.
It was really unfortunate bounce there, Redland at Victoria Point. They had the running, they had the lead on their opponents going inside, but it's done a Shane Warne leg break, and it's nearly bounced back outside 50.
This is why we love the game of Australian rules football. As the ball gets pumped along the banner, look at the Hodge. He provides some protection there for Purslow. Dribbling kick up towards high half forward, and here they come. Campbell Aston spent it before he had it. Johnston, he's stripped of it straight away, tries to appeal for the free kick. Umpire was blindsided. And you can feel the Panthers, they got that pressure gauge dialed up.
We've got a bit of an open window here, gents. Just watching that replay, and that bounce, Shane Warne definitely would have been proud of that one. Hosfeld was in the box seat to run into an open goal. Heady got that ball clear. Hosfeld takes a dive. Play on to the umpire. Castle, he's had an influential third quarter. Looking for Purslow, gets it in front. Cockatoo gets crunched, gets caught in the sandwich. Gets a little bit of extra treatment as well. Players are all okay.
One thing's for sure, mate, not one player is taking a backward step at the moment.
Yeah, the tackle there from Nathan Smith. You can feel it up here in the goal box. Free kick for a hold. It will go up to the Panthers. 20 free kicks to 15 in favour of the Sharks. And 35 free kicks. It's been a grueling contest. Panthers here on the commentary wing. Picked up on the half volley there. Was Greenaway.
Look out!
And no prior opportunity. I want to see White Greenaway get off the leash. He's got lots of speed, the young star.
It was a great pickup. The half volley was fantastic.
He was surrounded by a pack of sharks there, and clean hands was good.
Brisbane Lions Academy product. Repeat stoppages, free kick for another high tackle. So Jake Godwin, the lead has been on now, and that just the wind had picked that up, and Smith goes back and takes an uncontested mark in defence.
Not too dissimilar to the way Redland-Victoria point are going. They've gone inside 50 12 times this quarter, Morningside, for 1 goal. They can get it against the run of play.
That's a better kick. O'Sullivan drops the mark he should have taken, got the handball out. They've got a little bit of room to move through Peterwood. Chipped half forward, players going to come together, look out. Nelson, great attack on the contest. Ends up back with it. Got a free teammate if he wants to use him. That's a good kick. Batoli Simmons drops the mark. Ball comes to the front. Who's attacking the ball? Who's attacking the man? Players dive on it.
I'll just say with Nelson there, he decided to take a punt and spread off Housefield, who was standing alone, eventually 30 metres out from goal. So he took a gamble, Brad.
He did it, and he needed to, otherwise it was going to be an easy mark to Annabelle.
Geez, that could have been a car wreck between those two at half forward. Play continues now. Castle, he's had a ton of the ball in this third quarter. Bit of run and carry, steps back and board. He's got a spare player, misses Dads, ends up in the hands of Perslow. Perslow chips to the hot spot. Players going to come together. Good mark. Great mark there by Godwin again.
I feel sorry for Smith there. He was in a hiding against four forwards there, essentially, Brad.
Yeah, he was. But you made the call. Castle's quarter has been fantastic. The run that he's been giving Morningside has been fantastic. But again, this is their 13th inside 50. They've only had the 1 goal. Godwin's been really important for them across half forward. But again, you've got to put the goal on the board to increase the pressure on Redland-Victoria point.
Godwin now. This could be a bit of a nail in the coffin before three-quarter time. It's there. So just like Brad said, the pressure is now on the Redland-Victoria Point Sharks to head back and head back quickly.
Yeah, they've only gone inside 55 times, Redland-Victoria Point. The game has been played in one half of the ground the quarter. Morningside have dominated. They needed to get reward for the effort that they've been putting in and the dominance that they've had in territory, and they've been able to get that second goal on board, open the 26-point lead. We're late into the third quarter. Redland, obviously, we saw what they did last week. They're not going to give up the ghost. They know that they're probably coming to the scoring end in that third quarter. So Morningside know that they need to probably try and get at least another one on the board before three-quarter time.
It was the first goal for the Morningside in the space of 22 minutes. The Sharks have gone goalless for 36 minutes. Their last goal coming just at the start of time on through Clay Cameron in the second term. So it's been a long time. Here comes Castle. We saw Coach Paul Egan on the screen before. Very, very satisfied look from the coach. There's Batoli Simmons inside the forward 50 again. One for the Brave. Good spoil there from the Sharks. They're across the ball. Took on a couple of players there. Aston off a step up towards the commentary wing, and strong mark taken here on the commentary side by Declan Willie.
Geez, Josh Brown was disappointing on that occasion. As play continues, they turn the ball back over here, the Sharks. Here's an opportunity. Peterwood got a bit of room to move. Hosfeld looks like he's found some room out the back. Ball keeps in. He's out by a country mile, and the umpire agrees with me.
They're just lacking any type of assertion up in their front half, Redland-Victoria Point. It's easy for Morningside just to be able to rebound at the moment.
Geez, Inspector Gadget doesn't have long enough arms to keep that ball in on that occasion. Ball gets thrown back in. Cameron now in the ruck. Johnson trying to keep the ball in. Peterwood gets sandwiched by a couple of Panthers.
Still waiting to see. We can safely report that Harrison Hunkin is back on the ground for the Sharks after that heavy knock with the ribs. Standing across half back. As Huddy will insert himself back into the chaos against Brad Hodge, and both players collide. Huddy pelts it forward. Panthers off a step around the body. Through the legs now, it comes out now to Lohman. There's a little one-on-one up towards high half forward. There's no one behind this contest at present. So a boundary throw-in might be ideal for the Panthers, not for forthcoming there as Williams out to Hunkin, has Reeves short. A worm-burning kick out to Reeves. He tries to draw the 50-metre penalty. Cameron is up towards high half forward. Won't go as far.
Kick.
So Sullivan handballs back and forth. They've got to get a goal here. Brown takes a little bit off the kick. That was perfect. That was just what they needed.
They did, but you see they changed the angle. They came in board on that 45 and it opened up their forward 50 and were able to take an easier mark inside. Now, to say this is a much-needed goal for Redland-Victoria Point would be an understatement, but that transition just changed the angle ever so slightly and open up your forward 50. But Clay Cameron, he's hoping all Redland-Victoria Point supporters hope he can put this one through.
That was the third shot after the siren in as many quarters for a return of 1-1. Can it be? Actually, I don't think we had a goal out of that, so this could be the first goal. Cameron rocks back. Cameron kicks
Great
good.
finish.
That's a goal! And the Sharks have closed the gap to 20 points. East is going the journey here at Brighton Homes Arena with Kane Browning, Brad Moore, Jack Barry. Oh, we've got the superstars out here. It is a remarkable game of football.
Fantastic. Look, Morningside dominated. They absolutely dominated that third quarter. Everything that they needed to do after halftime, they did, other than hit the scoreboard. 14-7 inside forward 50s was really the telling point of the quarter. The territory battle was won by Morningside. They just weren't able to kick accurately. But with that said, that's the nature of the story before halftime, when Redland-Victoria Point had many opportunities to go inside 50 and have shots on goal. So we know from last week's performance against Aspley that Redland-Victoria Point are going to give themselves every opportunity. They ran home strongly against who has been the benchmark for the last probably 3 seasons in QAFL football. So they're going to be really confident with only a 20-point deficit.
Well, it is three-quarter time here. We'll be back after this very short break. Thanks to our friends at Double Take Eye Sports at Brightonham's Windows and Doors. Final quarter of the QAFL season coming up after this.
They got the extra number here, the Demons. 1-1 in front of the footy. No one to go to inside 50. This could be a foot race. Demons in front at the moment. Picks it up beautifully. He's got 2 opponents. Right foot check side. What a goal!
Welcome back to Brighton Homes Arena. We appreciate your company wherever you may be watching for the 2024 QAFL Senior Grand Final. My name is Chris Sheen. I am got the great pleasure of being the company of Kane Brown, Brad Moore, and of course Jack Barry. We look at the highlights, Kane, of that third quarter.
Well, I tell you what, Lohman, again, from start to this point of the contest, he's been the most dominant forward on the ground, arguably. whether the ball's in the air or on the ground. He set up a number of opportunities. Godwin kicked a couple of goals as well, including the one we see on screen right now. Just having a quick look at the score. It is 20 points the margin. That handball back inside to Brown for the Sharks. Found Cameron basically on the siren. Like you said, Yendi, we've had shots on goal after the siren for every break. And that was a beautiful kick by Cameron. Closed the gap to 20 points. And they're right in this contest, the Sharks, if they're good enough.
Well, they 14 inside 50s to 7 for the third term in favour of the Panthers. We're having a look at the Sharks at the moment. Now, you called the game last week. We're seeing some juices sort of flowing that maybe we could see repeat.
Yeah, look, it feels fairly similar. I mean, there's been some quiet players. You've had Brown and Smith been quiet for most of the day, but they did really well last week.
Coming across here, Jack Barry, who's with Phil Carson, Redland-Victoria point.
Phil, within striking distance, 20 points. You've been coming home strong all final series. What was your last message to the boys?
Yeah, nothing to lose. Just got to take it on now. Got to hit that attacking side of the ground and back the boys in to do what they've been doing.
Okay. Everyone's fit and healthy?
Yep. Good to go. All 22, good to go.
Good luck.
Thanks, Jack.
Up to you, boys.
Thanks, Jack Barry, just one of the legends of QAFL football.
Just to finish my point, just before Jack jumped in there, Smith was quiet last week. All of a sudden, obviously, he kicked the winner in the end. Brown was quiet last week in the last quarter, bobbed up with a couple of goals. Cameron has been a little bit quiet as well. He bobbed up. Hamilman was influential in the last quarter last week. So there are opportunities in this last quarter. 20 points the margin. If they get the first one, the Sharks, it's game on.
Well, it's certainly game on here at Brighton Homes Arena, and it's thanks to our wonderful team that are bringing you all the action right around the country here on AFLQ as the ball goes up. Brad Hodge wins the tap and taps it out now to Nakai Cockatoo. Turns his opponent inside out of the Panthers. Inside the forward 50. Out towards Lohman. Handball out to Castle. Castle dodges and weaves. Handball's back out now to Lohman. Couldn't quite find the target there as Annabelle out of the corner of his eye was looking for Rolls. No. Horn. Sorry, that's not Horn, that's Griffiths. He's wrapped up holding the ball.
Great effort there by the Sharks to shut that play down. Castle, I thought, would have enough leg speed to get away from Williams. He didn't on that occasion. Great work by the full-back. This play continues, looking for Smith. Dillon. Again, we just spoke about, he's been a little bit quiet. Campbell Aston trying to shut it down as well. Horn chips the ball to half forward. The other Smith, Hunkin now. Kicks back where the ball came from. Smith playing in front. Tried to take it out its highest point. Brown gets forced over the line by Horn. Boundary throw in.
So this is where Redland-Victoria Point really need to step up. They were dominated in that third quarter by Morningside, 14-7 at the clearances. So they dropped off from what they were doing in the first half. They really need to step up. Your likes of your Petterwoods, your Annabelles in the middle. You've got Rolls around the contest as well.
The work there from Joshy there on the camera, bringing you all the action like we're right there with you as Huddy pumps the ball along, and it'll be a 2-on-2, a collision course for the ages. Heading out towards 15 metres out from goal. Lovely work, right foot step around the body. Thompson has got a goal! The Sharks are in this up to their eyeballs. They've got 2 on the bounce. The margin back to 14 points here at Brighton Homes Arena.
What a great finish. That's what you want. The pressure again by Redland-Victoria Point created the turnover. Looked like Morningside were going to clear. Ball hits the ground. And the opportunist goal by Thompson was fantastic. We said at three-quarter time, they've been in this position before, Redland-Victoria Point, and they're going to get their tails up now with the first goal on the board.
And we spoke about it three-quarter time while we were off air. Guess who's ended up in the forward line? It's Thompson is the one. That's the change they've made. So he's a small forward playing out the goal square. So this is very interesting. He's gone from a back pocket to arguably a small full forward. When the ball hits the deck, he could set up some opportunities.
That's something they've needed too.
They've been lacking that all afternoon. As Huddy competes with Hodge back in the middle. Ball gets hacked out towards the half forward. O'Sullivan's been good for most of the afternoon. Purslow lays the tackle. Players go to ground. O'Sullivan, a little chip kick's okay. That hat kick, 1-on-1. Cameron playing from behind. Nelson playing in front. Good contest between those two. Handball out. Bit of open space. Brown tips the ball to the pocket. Good tackle coming from behind. Was from Morningside. Hamilton pleading for deliberate. Umpire says no.
Ryan Smith not having a bar at Brad.
No, he's not. No. But again, the stoppages. The last goal was created by a stoppage win here with a boundary throw-in. We'll see how they go here again, Redland-Victoria point.
Oh, the Panthers, they can sense the Sharks are circling. They've been the better team all day. As the ball paddle out towards Horsfield, and we'll see a boundary throw-in.
It's always a tough thing in football these days. When you're in front, you've got a little lead. It's what do you do? Do you trying to hold on to that lead, or you just keep trying to extend it? Whereas you've got Redland-Victoria point, they've got nothing to lose. They'll just throw everything at the game now, and they can just go full steam ahead.
Well, they're in line to fight for their first premiership in the QAFL. The Panthers, Morningside, going for their first since 2020. Their 11th overall is Horn. Left foot kick, one of the best on the ground you'd feel, but they're bouncing the 40. Hard to really depict who is the better player on the ground at this point in time.
It has been even. Horn has been really solid. When McDonough hasn't been getting the ball, you've seen the other left footer in Horn getting plenty of it as well.
Play continues now. Hunkin launches to half forward. All on his own was Cameron for some reason. He's going to chip in short, looking for Hamilton. Oh, drop mark.
Annabelle.
Here's a chance. Annabelle, snap. Snap. It's there. Can you believe it? Game on, ladies and gentlemen.
2 snaps on goal. Before half-time, they could not buy a goal from set shots in front of goal, and the 2 shots that they've had so far this quarter have been snaps, and they've been fantastic kicks. I've been really impressed with Annabelle since half-time. His third quarter was fantastic. He was trying to create some drive for Redland-Victoria point off half-back, and then he's just been able to finish here with a fantastic snap on goal after Thompson's as well.
Jeez. And again, we talked about it. Create the contest, bring it to ground. The likes of Annabelle and Thompson have gone bang, bang in quick succession. And you look at the scoreboard now, 8-8-56 to 6-12-48. The margins have been closed to 8 points, just under 5 minutes into the last quarter.
In the space of 5.5 minutes of play either side of three-quarter time, it's been 4 inside 50s to 1 for 3 straight to nothing. So that's how quickly this game has turned around. Now the Panthers are on the ropes. The Kai Cockatoo, right full kick up towards high half forward. Few players holding on there. Umpire lets it go, and rightfully so. As Griffiths bursts through, we'll see a stoppage.
How good was Miller there on the last line? He had to lay that tackle at all costs without giving the free kick away. Well done.
Rucks will go up again. Ball brought to ground, 15 metres out from goal. Hunkin skews it around the body. Here's a chance up towards 15 metres out. Lands in the arms there of the Panthers. Loman circling, looking for Purslow. Couldn't quite get out under heavy traffic. Campbell Aston lays a tackle. That's a stoppage.
Pressure is right on now. Scoreboard pressure has come into the game now, so no one giving an inch there. Lots of numbers around the ball.
We thought last week was stressful, ladies and gents. This is 10 times as worse. Nothing after this week for the loser. A premiership for the winner.
That's why we're up here, mate.
That's exactly why we're up here, not down there. Ball gets thrown back up again. Every contest important. Batoli Simmons got the handball out. They're trying to force it through handball. Pressure's coming from the Sharks, though. That's a smart kick. Finds Finch.
Stallard there with a really good composed kick. He's limping a little bit. I don't know how well that hamstring's going, but the thing Redland-Victoria point got in their advantage is that they've been in this position before.
Finch looking for Smith again. Bit of an up and under kick, but they're at the right end of the ground.
Well, you've been in this situation as a coach, Brad. What's sort of going through your mind at this point in time when the game's close?
Look, there's not a lot. You just want to make sure you've got the right matchups. You've got the right players playing on the right opposition players. It's a matter of letting the players know if you've done all the work, you should have done all the work pre-game anyway in the lead up through the season. The players know what their responsibilities are. You're just responsible for the matchups.
Brad coaching Surfers to a thrilling win over Palm Beach Scrum a few years ago. Free kick for holding the ball. Did not make a legitimate attempt to knock it out, said umpire Ryan Smith. And Jared Huddy, who can pump the ball up towards the top of the square, That was an unconvincing kick. Straight down the throat of Brad Hodge, his opposing.
Fortunate, you had Reeves standing all on his own, and it only just carried over his head. He could have taken an uncontested mark.
Well, sometimes you're better off going that 30 to 50 kick, really. As it comes out now to our stern. The umpire didn't pay the mark there, despite Horn protesting. We'll see a boundary throw in, and Horn is pleading his case, and the umpire, Rowan Smith, says no.
But all of a sudden, the perceived pressure against Morningside now, they've got to be smart with their ball use. They can't just hack the ball down the line like Redland got caught doing in that third quarter. Huddy again got the tap out. Little hack kick from Morningside's okay. That punch clear. Over the boundary line, another boundary throw in. As Huddy comes off the ground, McDowell wide back on.
Tell you what I love seeing. I love seeing both supporter bases behind their team's goals in the last quarter. It's fantastic.
Well, the Morningside crew, they've got the kids with the drums today. They've been so active, being in all three grand finals. There's Annabelle taken down behind the view of the umpire. They did have the drums. The kids, I think it was sort of 15, 16, they were just following around. Big drums creating atmosphere like you've not seen before here at the QAFL. Deft little tap over the head there from Hodge. But Campbell Aston will get in there first, there for the Sharks, and Nathan Smith takes it out of bounds for Centro.
Again, contested ball, the clearance work. You've got Morningside are just winning the contested ball at the moment at the clearances, 6-3, getting their hands on the ball first. And again, they've taken this ball from half-back to half-forward without any real clear possession.
It's a real arm wrestle between the arcs at the moment. McDowell wide playing in front. Hodge used the body well. Smith is there looking for Annabelle. A bit hard for him. Gets on the right foot, kicks out the line. Smith playing in front. Again, not the best of bounces. Cameron pushing the ball in front of himself. It's a 3-on-2 in favour of the Panthers. Lovig is good on that occasion. Hack kick towards half forward. McDowell wide playing from behind. Taps it down to the front. Great effort there.
That's a great tackle. Great tackle. The one player that Morningside probably haven't had the ball in his hands much in this second half is McDonough. He's really struggled to get possession of the ball. Whether Finch is playing a more defensive role, but he's doing a great job.
Hodge belts it forward, taken here by Reeves. Reeves off the step, looking for Finch. There is McDonough, the player in question, that he brings it down the ground to his opposite number 26 there in Johnson inside the forward 50. Mark not taken there by Hamilman. It bobbled out. He'll plead his case. The umpire says no.
He blew the whistle pretty early, the umpire, on that occasion.
Still feel, gents, that the Joe Grant medalist is far from being determined. This is what we love. We've seen that in the previous two games. And let them be voting today, that's for sure. As Brown handballs over the top because the result is far from done. As Pennerwood and up and under. I don't think he's putting his case in the books. Out of bounds on the full.
He's actually been really good. He's worked really hard for 4 quarters, Pennerwood, but unfortunately, but again, they look dangerous when the ball's up in their forward half now. That's a great kick by McDonough.
That is a great kick from McDonough. Found a Godwin. Godwin chips the ball out wide. That's okay too. They're trying to maintain possession. Vitali Simmons.
London 1-on-1 inside the forward 50.
Hamilton's down there on him. Bit to play out here. Great one-on-one tackle. Still got the handball out though. Here come the Panthers. Chip inside. Players going to come together. Oh, great effort by all players concerned. Hamilton found a teammate with a handball. Chip towards Cameron. Could have dropped the chest mark. Play on, says the umpire. They've got all the numbers here. Rolls comes back. O'Sullivan spoils him for some reason. Rolls gets back onto it. Good tackle laid, but it's going to be a free kick. So free kick to Rolls. Advantage paid. That's on the ball, says the umpire. I don't think there was an advantage on that occasion. Free kick's going to go to the Vitali Simmons. He could be within range. Launches the ball to the goal square. Who's going to take this mark? 1-on-1, good contest. Ball gets pushed over. Minor score.
Throw to Jack Barry there on the boundary line.
Yeah, we've got Kelly Castle on the sideline there. He's cramping up here. It's all happening here on the bench here, but watch out for Redland-Victoria points. They'll come home strong.
They are coming through like a ball at a gate. Thanks, Jack Barry, highlighting that players are cramping, and Kelly has worked his backside off. We'll see a boundary throw in.
Deliberate.
Wow.
You could, as bad as it was, you could see it coming from a mile away.
Look, it had to be paid. That's a poor kick.
Well, so towards Jack, rolls back to Campbell Aston now, just has to kick long down the line, and that he does. Huddy maybe to bring it out and force a stoppage because Hodge, the man mountain that he is slowing it down. You feel the Panthers. They're 9 points. They can feel the Sharks. Now we're throwing everything at them. Godwin kicked a couple.
Godwin's been very, very good. He's had a great game today. He's probably going to be up there in line for the medal as well.
Well, there's still more time for him to make an impact too, to really engrave his name on that medal. It comes out now to Griffiths. Griffiths on the inside of the boot and kisses the chalk. We'll see a boundary throw-in the forward pocket.
So it's only 9 points. You see, Morningside are just trying to slow the game and slow the tempo a little bit. There's only 30 minutes is gone, so there's plenty of time left, and only 2 goals required by Redland-Victoria. Morningside need to keep trying to score.
Play continues now. Huddy playing for the back. Found Campbell Aston. McDowell White could impact this contest. Cameron's there as well. Shocking bounce of the ball. Nelson with the blind turn. Let's go behind the ball. Yes, it is.
A 1-on-1 inside the forward 50 of the Sharks.
Cameron. Finch spreading out to this broadcast side. He's going to try and find him here. It's going to be over his head. McDowell impacts the contest. Finch has got to lock the ball up here. Pushes the ball towards the boundary line. Plays come together.
Great contest.
Waters and Finch. Good effort by both players on that occasion. Boundary throwing.
Boundary throwing here just forward of centre for the Panthers. They have not kicked a goal since the 26-minute mark of the third term. Which is quite some time ago. Nearly 20 minutes, in fact, as Rolls gets a free kick.
Too high.
They've got to roll the dice here, Sharks. They really have to now.
Casino Royale here.
They've got a Horsfeld half forward. He's probably just a kick too far away. That'll end up being in his general vicinity, Horsfeld. He'll try to get front position. In fact, he's out marked there by Horn.
Horn's been good. He's been fantastic. He's been really a rock down there off halfback. But again, you don't want Redland just to get caught in just kicking the ball long. There's plenty of time. They still need to try and change those angles and shift the Morningside defenders.
Horn up the corridor now, finds Castle, who's recovered from his cramping. He's got McDonald up through the corridor, looks to go further afield towards the Cockatoo. Ball hits the ground, it wasn't. Comes out now to the Sharks, on turnover. Here comes the Panthers, Waters off a step, looking for Lohman. It was going to be downfield anyway. And Jacob Lohman, maybe a contender for the Joe Grant medal.
He's been really dangerous up forward. He just gets the right spots. And he protects the drop of the ball really well. I think that might be his third chest mark from the third quarter into this last quarter as well. Knows where the ball's going to drop and protects that ball drop space. But the difference between the first 3 quarters, one team was dominating in the stats at all times. At this time, it's a completely even, one or two between each of them in all of the key stats at the moment. That's how tight the game's become.
Well, Jacob Lohman for goal number 3, and this could break the spirits of the Sharks. Otherwise, it's still game on. Lohman kicks, and he misses to the far side. 10 points the margin.
I think he got a bit too close to the man on the mark there. They had to kick up and under to get that ball over the man on the mark. So just a disappointing finish there.
Well, 10 points the margin. 16 minutes played, final quarter. QAFL 2024 Grand Final. It's been a game that we've loved all day, as Hunkin playing in front takes a good contested mark in front of Lovick. Bit too close to the man on the mark. Huddy gets out the back, ends up in the hands of Hamilman, who fumbled. Players come together, rolls to Huddy. Huddy to the pocket. Smith's on his own, takes a chest mark.
He needs this, doesn't he?
Tell you what's going to be a hell of a kick from there, but the way the game's been unfolding, they've kicked 2 goals from snaps. You wouldn't put this past him. Wouldn't put it past him.
For a player of his ability, Brad, and for the limited impact he's had today, he might have owned the moment here.
Well, he was the hero last week with a 65-metre bomb. He's a bit close to the goal. Right foot check side,
doesn't score.
But he's presented well. Although he might not have had as many stats as what we probably would think, he actually has competed extremely well. Looked to keep getting the ball to ground inside that forward 50 for them. The stats might not show he's had a lot of the ball, but he's worked really hard as a key forward.
McDonough spears the ball down the boundary line to Hodge. And the ball spent a lot of time out here, so we're not complaining. McDonough now arches the back against Finch, turns the ball over to Williams.
Finch did really well there. That pressure that he was putting on McDonough created that turnover.
Peel Thunder Colts player, and Miller drops a mark he would have taken every day of the week. We'll see a boundary throw in.
It's funny how much power all of a sudden ends up in your legs when you're under the pump. Just overcooked it there on that occasion, Williams.
Finch takes a spell. Ball hits the ground again. Free kick for a hold, or in fact a push. It will go to Huddy. Now Huddy has to go now. Hamilman's just saying, kick it to me. And he will go in that general vicinity. So Hamilman just has to crash the pack. Drops the mark. It's been that sort of day. Thompson looking for McDowell wide. Deft little tap on the last line of defence. Panthers hack it out towards half-back. Nathan Smith brings it down the ground. Panthers with some numbers here at ground level. Hodge not to be deterred by this situation. Handball's out now towards Loman. Lovely little tap. Lovely little tap along the boundary line. Kick along the boundary line to touch. Look out for Godwin. Keeps it inside the field of play. Right foot kick to a one-on-one contest. This is a big moment in the game. Drops the mark. Comes out now to Nathan Smith. No. Jacob Loman handballs over the top. Here's a chance for Godwin. Godwin for goal number 3. And maybe for the flag. For the Panthers. 16-point leaders.
That's his third Godwin. He has been really impressive. I thought Loman's been one of their best forwards, but they spread the load in that second half. Loman's tap down here on the boundary line was fantastic. Allowed the ball to keep moving forward, and Godwin's probably 2 or 3 efforts there in the front half. He got the ball on the boundary line, was able to put the long ball up, and he still followed the ball in, and the ball gets knocked over the top, and he runs in, and could that be the sealer?
Well, it was all about keeping the ball in play there, wasn't it? They didn't allow the ball to get over the boundary line. Just smart footy from the Morningside Panthers, and Godwin, great finish. Again, missed opportunity down one end from Smith, gets up the other end, and Godwin kicking his third. And look at the crowd going absolutely bananas behind the goals there. Looks like some of those Colts boys with the premiership medals wrapped around their necks are in the cheer squad as Hodge and Huddy. It's been a great contest all day between those two. Ball gets held up.
The average quarter length has been 29 minutes, so at least another 10 to go, and given we've got a few goals in it.
There's still time. Play continues now. That smart kick finds Bartoli Simmons. Gets called to play on. Kicks to some open space. Playing in front of the Sharks. Williams gets absolutely poleaxed, but the ball gets locked in, so the Panthers will be happy with those efforts.
Well, it's end of time on now. Brad, can they do it?
Oh, look, anything's
say
possible.
Who, it could be anyone.
In this day and age, goals can be scored so quickly. We saw how quickly Redland-Victoria Point kicked the first 2 goals of the quarter. But at the moment, Morningside are doing everything well just to lock the ball in and make it really tough.
20 and a half gone here in this term. Great to be in your company wherever you may be watching. As Horn stripped off it there by Annabelle. Right foot kick on its way.
Touched.
Touched. 17 points the margin.
Touched.
Horn has been solid. He's working really hard, Horn. He's been really important for Morningside.
This is Smith. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty at the back end of this grand final. It's been a great contest all day. Dylan Smith, not the best of kicks. Peterwood loses his footing. Cockatoo loses his footing. Turns it over to Annabelle. They've gone over that. Here comes Cameron. Loses his footing. Got the handball over the top. It's Brown. Can't win possession of the ball, and that's almost the story of the day for the Sharks.
Brown.
Still smothered. Snap on goal. To the goal square. 1-on-1. Rolling. It's
a goal.
Can you believe it?
Well, I don't know what Cameron was thinking. I don't know why he wasn't having a shot on goal. He was running in. It was a great handball over the top, and he could have run in and had that shot on goal. As it was, he tried to take the players on and second-guess himself, but they were able to manufacture a goal. Don't know how they've done it, but Brown, contest work there, got up onto his feet again, Good pressure again.
And it is Brown.
Geez, they know how to get the ball to bounce in the goal square and bounce through for a goal, don't they, Kane?
What's it with Hamilman? Bloody using great body work, but doesn't touch the footy though. The last 2 weeks. But I tell you what, look at the scoreboard. Back to 9 points in favour of the Panthers. A tick over 22 minutes played. And I tell you what, boys, this is getting set up for an absolute beauty.
It's been brought to you by friends at Double Take, Harry, Connor, Josh, Will, Joel, bringing you all the action right around the country here in the QAFL. Thanks to Bradnam's Windows and Doors, and of course our man Benny from iSports Solutions, bringing you the stats around the country. For the first time ever, live stats as we go to air, as they come in front of us. So we may see another stoppage here. Horsfield working hard, umpire Frankie Rays and letting it go momentarily.
How good's Annabelle been in this last quarter? He's been moved into the midfield. He's been dominant. He's been using his body work well. And he's really influencing the result at the moment.
Cockatoo now finds Patoli Simmons. His CV is looking very good, Annabelle. Allies representative, playing on the MCG in a couple of weeks. Could be a premiership player.
He's definitely one on that talent pathway at the moment. A lot of Queensland people are very interested in.
Not able to see why in this game. His work ethic is amazing. As a floating kick up towards high half forward, a fashion foot race that will suit the Panthers here. The ball can stay in, not to be denied there as Brown handballs over the top, and he'll get it back from Annabelle. Brown now, this is the big kick in the game. Ball's a little bit short. Hamilman up towards the top of the square. They've thrown Williams forward. Well, he did play a bit of forward footy a few years ago. And the Panthers on the outer side. Left foot kick looking for Batoli Simmons. Does he get the free kick? No, but he recovers well. Handballs over the top. Saw his teammate out of the corner of his eye. Was perfect. Looking for Lohman.
Dylan Smith is the one that's moved down back, seeing that Williams is up the ground.
Greenaway's run out of the defensive 50 and then follow up there on the wing was fantastic. Good hard running.
Now Dylan Swans is a lot less familiar playing down back as that spare man. He's not going to be intercepting too often. Players come together. Huddy, juggling attempt at a mark, ball rolling around. All on the line here now for the Sharks. Players come together. Stoppage. Still 9 points the margin. Play continues now. Huddy just forces the ball out. Players come together. There's a lot of holding going on. Umpire had none of it.
McDonald's just come off the interchange bench. He's standing all on his own at centre-half forward at the moment.
Someone's got to look out for him. He's still playing for the ball. He's going to go long to the goal square. Geez, that's a big kick. Oh, Mark! No, juggled over the line. Another minor score.
That's a handy point.
Well, it's now 12 points. Oh, Peterwood, that's got to be 50. No, says the umpire.
So Peterwood across half back. He's got Brown further down the line. They have to play a bit of risk-free footy. Annabelle was held without it.
He's been good. You made the call, Kane. His second half has been fantastic.
Tremendous.
Joe Grant medal could be around his neck if they win. That's just how good he's been, but that kick will be ill-directed.
Look out.
And Morningside will settle across half back. Not enjoying the treatment there with Straker. Straker will find Horn. No, he won't.
No.
Finch caught in the middle. Comes out now to Annabelle, is playing his heart out. Handball's over the top now, looking for his teammate there in Thompson. Up towards Hamilman, who's there at ground level. There for the Sharks. Johnston's there, and we'll see a stoppage.
Tell you what, you expect your senior players to get everyone on their coattail, but the young fella in Annabelle is doing everything he can at the moment.
Play continues now. Ball rolling around. Bailey Reeves is around the mark. Players come together. Look at the numbers around this contest. Rolls is there as well. That could have been a throw. Play on, says the umpire. Another stoppage. 25 out from the Sharks' goal. They're at the right end of the ground.
We're so far away from the timekeepers too, we've got no idea how long to go.
Someone needs to run down to that timekeeper's box. It's not going to be me. Peterwood chips the ball to the goal square. Ball still rolling around. In some of the hands of Hamilton. Could have got legged. Play on, says the umpire. Another stoppage. Now we're right on the goal square. Right in front of the goal square. Look at the crowd behind the goals.
30 players inside 50 at the moment.
No one. You got Smith, Dylan Smith, the deepest back for the Sharks. Ball still rolling around into the pocket. They're not going to let that ball go through. Still juggling around.
Oh, it's a goal!
Hamilton! off the ground. It's got to be a goal.
We're going to get the conference here. We're going to get the conference.
No one got a hand on that ball.
The tackler didn't take the tackle through for a behind. The ball stayed in play.
I don't know if we're going to get a replay. I don't know if we can get a replay here from our friends at Double Take, just to get a bit of an eye on that. In fact,
I think it's a goal.
It's there.
It's a goal.
Wow.
Well, I talked about Hamilton before in the goal square. All of a sudden, he goes hands on the footy. Ball on boot really quick and kicked an absolute perler.
Well, since first quarter time, he's had a pretty quiet day. But again, in a grand final, you only have to just take your moment and opportunity when it presents itself, and he did just then. 6 points. We don't come back next week, do we?
Oh, don't start that.
Could we have the VFL grand final just scoot aside and we'll come back in?
I've had a draining week as it is, boys. I won't be here next week, and we've got to come back.
Yeah, we had Lazarus here, Kane Browning, resurrected, got up in time off his deathbed to be here today, but it's 6 points.
Clearance is so important here. Redland need this clearance. Redland-Victoria need this clearance.
Yeah, and Morningside have dominated the clearance in the second half, 36-33. As Huddy brings it down the ground, it's taken by Horn. Horn just gets away from Reeves, and up and under kick, trying to make it rain. We don't need that now. And they settle across the outer side. They're away, Greenaway. Going to take some time off the clock.
28 and a half minutes played.
Just need to find a man. You've got to make him kick long, which they have. Turnover. Then they go.
Centre half forward now. The Sharks have got to take everything they've got. They've got to run through the corridor. Campbell Aston has to go. Right foot kick. It'll go up towards the top of the square.
Williams.
Hamilton.
Ball hits the ground. Right foot kick on its way. That's Annabelle. Which way will it bounce?
And look who was right on the boundary line there. That ball had bounced back into play.
Wow.
There was a Sharks player free. It was a bit like Milne a long time ago. Just let the ball bounce.
The numbers around this contest.
Ball comes back in. Everyone at this contest. Hamilton out of the ruck. Slams it towards the line. It could have been deliberate. No, says the umpire.
Could be a very important point.
Handy point. Now they can't give them an easy out here. That's the key.
They've got players sitting out back defensively.
That's a key.
McDonough's got the ball. You know he's going to kick the ball long.
Key to the season, but they want to maintain possession here. No point bombing it long if you're going to turn the ball over. He goes out of the goal square, kicks it long. Huddy's there for the Sharks. Gets over the back. That's O'Sullivan. To Rolls. Plenty on the line here. Don't know how long there is to go. But on centre back, Darcy Cameron Reeves has been brilliant.
That's right, Leo Barry like that.
Tips the ball out wide.
Well played.
Thompson, well done, young man.
All football there. He did really well there.
I just called Thompson a young man. He's played 250 games. I don't know what I'm talking
He's
about.
Younger than you, mate. Younger than us.
Everyone's younger than me at this point in time. Thompson, great effort on McDonough.
Boundary throw in here. The dying moments of this one, the ultimate finish to an all-time classic of a season. Huddy brings it down the ground now, Hunking. Miller Rolls stripped off it. Castle tried to break his way through. Knocked out in the tackle. Over the top to Nakai Cockatoo. This will be a handy possession now. Had two Sharks bearing down on him. Perslow around the corner. And it'll be Stallard.
Stallard's got to go now.
Great kick.
Tick under 31 minutes. 30 minutes played. Almost 31. They're playing on at every opportunity.
They got one-on-one.
Rolls. One-on-one. Williams. Hamilton. Who's there? Over the boundary line, right on the 50-metre arc. This has been a grand final for the ages, ladies and gentlemen.
So you got one team trying to save the game. You got one team trying to win the game right now.
5 points the margin. Who can get some space from this contest? Huddy taps the ball back.
Here
this
we
is
go.
Miller. Miller to Annabelle. Annabelle out on the full.
It's not a bad result, actually, because they're going to be stuck on this side of the ground.
They're going to try and lock this ball in this pocket. Again, don't allow them an easy out. McDonough's going to go for the switch. They're just trying to maintain possession. They can't just turn the ball back over. Play continues. O'Sullivan out the back. Can't let this ball get out the back either. Players come together. Hunkin gets tackled.
stoppage. What a year it has been. Redland-Victoria point, done it the hard way. Huddy looking for rolls. Ends up in the hands of Cockatoo. Dylan Smith, one-on-one with Waters. Got to be clean here. Waters. There's the siren. What a game of football. The Panthers, 5-point winners, have claimed the 2024 QAFL Grand Final. And look at the Sharks, absolutely devastated. Given their all season long. Upset the two-time reigning premier, practically on the siren last week to get into the big dance. But today, it was the Panthers who've come away with the chocolates by a measly 5 points.
It doesn't get much better than that. It was somewhat the perfect finish to a perfect season. And we saw what Morningside had endured in recent seasons. They had a bit of a rebuild. Under Paul Egan a couple of seasons ago, they were able to bring in a lot of quality stars into this lineup. They recruited McDonough, Cockatoo. You'd be risked to think of Dunkley and a couple of others who have been part of this squad as well. They've had that changeover, lost Wiley Buzzer in the off-season who could have potentially been eligible. This Morningside outfit, it has changed dramatically in the past 12 months. And they've been able to bring out a wonderful, highly incredible premiership victory.
That's just a fantastic grand final that was between two teams who did not give an inch for the whole game. The pressure was on from the outset. Probably both teams had moments in the game where they just didn't take their opportunities in front of goal, but the pressure, the relentless pressure was just fantastic. Redland were coming hard, Redland-Victoria were coming hard in that last quarter. Morningside doing everything they could to withstand that. The amount of inside 50s late, I reckon they probably had the last 6 inside 50s there, Redland-Victoria point, but full credit to Morningside. They fantastic throughout the whole course of the year. Don't take anything away from Redland-Victoria point. Their final series has been second to none. They weren't able to get the chocolates today, but their performances over the last 4 weeks is as good as I've seen from any team in the QAFL.
I mentioned Wiley Buzzer is amongst the crowd today. He's playing in a grand final next week in the Smithies VFL for Southport. But of course, he's been a part of this list over the past couple of seasons. Big moment for to be part of that. All right, so we're going to throw down to the main man, Jack Barry, down at the ground level.
Bartoli Simmons, what a fantastic game. You've got another premiership here. You came back to the club this year and you've got over the line. How are you feeling?
Oh, it's hard to put into words, isn't it? That was an amazing game. They did not go away, did they? It was heartbeat late was, yeah, bloody hell. I'm just so relieved, really, with the way that finish was.
Hayden Bartoli Simmons, a premiership captain once again, player.
Jack Barry, amongst all the excitement there, we know Jack is going to get a couple more players as well. And you can hear and feel the celebrations there. Great words there from the premiership captain. And look, we have to think of Jack as well. He's
he's a life member, isn't he, of the Morningside Football Club? It's a club that's close to his heart. He put a lot of time and effort into the football club before he started working for AFL Queensland. So I've got no doubt he'd be a little happy inside as well. But he's had an affiliation with the Redland Football Club a little bit as well. He knows a lot of players that go through there. But Jack's a stalwart of whole Queensland football.
And to show how much he lives and breathes this AFL Queensland, his son today, Wilson, is playing in a preliminary final in the Sandful.
Yeah.
So
he would have had one eye on the scores down there to see how they were going to go to get into a grand final.
We throw back down to Jack there on the boundary line.
Awesome last quarter, Brad Hodge, two-time best of first, but now a premiership player. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, the BNS are good, but this is what it's all about. It's a team game, and I've got 3 flags in the Rezzies, but now I'm finally got the senior flag, but it's what it's all about.
An epic last quarter. What did you think? You actually played out of your skin the last quarter. You had a great battle with Huddy all day.
Yeah, it was a great battle. I mean, they came out hard in that last quarter and kicked the first 2 or 3 goals. Really made it a game. But yeah, it was a great battle all game. Credit to Redlands on being there 2 years in a row. Even that's a great accomplishment itself. So, yeah.
Great work. Well done. Congratulations. Up to you, boys.
Yeah, well done there, Jack, with one of the heroes of today's game. And you did receive a text message from Jack during the final term about Hodge's performance, Brad.
He was really impressed with the way Hodge was going about it. I thought the battle between Hodge and Huddy, I thought Huddy's last quarter was just, I think both ruckmen were fantastic for both their respective teams. They both did everything that they could possibly do. Huddy had a number of inside 50s and Hodge was great defensively as well around the ground. So both ruckmen will hold their heads up high.
We'll have the highlights flick over in the background of that last quarter too. The great man Will from Double Take calling all the shots down there. And look, this is some of the game highlights where it all started. And Waters we talked about as being a handy addition coming in for Keegan Downey.
Yeah, he kicked 2 goals. He started the game really strongly and he looked like he was going to be a really dangerous forward. But as the game proceeded on, he probably just didn't have as much of impact. He had a few more shots on goal but just was unable to hit the scoreboard. But he looked like the dangerous type early in the game.
But I think he took out Williams anyway in that sort of contest there. So given how strong Redland-Victoria Point's backline is, to be able to hold down a key defender is invaluable.
Oh, definitely. Look, you look at both sides though. There's only both teams have kicked 9 and 8 goals. It's been, I think actually, if I remember rightly, and I don't forget, 2019's not too far from my memory. The scoreboard isn't too dissimilar. Only just over 60 points kicked, but that just shows how ferocious the game was and how defensively sound both teams were as well.
We saw McDonough on the replay there with that big thumping kick. He's instrumental in that first half.
Oh, his kicking skills are fantastic, and the other one, Horn was the other one. Those 2 left footers were fantastic. This guy here, I thought Godwin was fantastic. He kicked 3 goals for the day, and he looked dangerous as the game unfolded. Kicked one late in the last we thought was going to be the sealer. It may just well have been the one that was the difference. Yeah.
And McDowell White, a handy addition to the Sharks this season, coming up as a Category B rookie with the Brisbane Lions in the VFL. A handy pick up there to sort of team up with Huddy because of play they were sort of lacking an extra ruckman.
Yeah, look, Malone out of the side, they needed to have a backup ruckman, and that was what he's responsible for. So he did quite a good job. Obviously hit the scoreboard as well.
And we saw a couple of the Sharks forwards as the game started to really grow in that third term. Clay Cameron's getting his hands on the footy. Lohman, you can see here, he was getting quite busy. He definitely had his chances. You can see there's a bit of a like for like with his brother there, but he makes a name in his own right.
Oh, he had many chances. He was a really dangerous forward for him. He'll probably sit back. Well, not so much now because he's going to have a premiership medal around his head, but he'll sit back and go, geez, I could have probably kicked 4 or 5 goals for the game. But he was really dangerous, did everything that he was required to do. I'm sure Egan would be really impressed with and happy with the way he was able to be not just a dangerous forward, but put forward line pressure on as well.
We're seeing here Brown started to light it up in the third term, and we know Clay Cameron, who played for Broadbeach in the grand final in the losing team to Morningside. So that is 2 grand finals in 5 seasons that he's played in losing to Morningside.
Yeah, well, this is the start of the last quarter. The forward line pressure, the one goal, the first one that got him started. You can see the Redland-Victoria based supporters behind the goals, up and about getting excited, and that got the ball rolling for the Sharks.
Matt Thompson sort of stepping it up. As Clay Thompson again, just sort of looking at it there. They were manning that comeback. That defence there from the Sharks, from the Panthers was tough. But Annabelle, he is one to keep an eye on in the future.
His second half was outstanding, and he nearly dragged them home, Annabelle, in that last quarter. His last quarter was as good as his third quarter. Super impressed with this young kid. They've got a great one there. Hopefully they keep hold of him because he's going to be an outstanding player.
And this was the moment of the game we felt that Godwin went into goal and kicked it, and we thought perhaps they were home and hosed, but the game had a few more twists and turns in this one, as we come to expect.
It did. They somehow manufactured a goal out of this when we thought Clay Cameron was going to run into an open goal and kick it. But again, forward pressure, kept the ball going, and Brown was able to snap it. One of those bounces in the goal square.
He's kicked over 40 goals this year, Josh Brown, in season 2024. That was one of the best. It brought them off the canvas. And it certainly...
this one here is crazy.
Yeah, something from nothing there from Hamilton. Good to see the umpire, Frankie Raisin, just letting that go.
How is he?
I don't know, but
10-pin bowling.
Full credit to Bailey Reeves there. He could have actually tackled him through with momentum, but he's dragged him back out from the goal face and kept the ball alive, and he's nutmegged him there and been able to kick a goal through the legs. But
Annabelle had the chance to win the game in the dying seconds as well with a kick that slid off the side of the boot. But I think this QAFL is set up for kids to be able to come through and make their impact. And we're going to see him in the AFL, but we're going to see him in the MCG in a couple of weeks' time.
I'll be definitely watching that game, because if he can perform on the MCG, who knows what his future holds for him, because today, on the biggest stage in Queensland football, he was able to perform with the big, more experienced players.
We cross down to our media manager of AFL Queensland, Sarah Owens, who, and a big shout out to Sarah, and as well as Taylor White. We know she's here today. Both of them were able to work together, and Jess too, for all wonderful work that she's been doing. And Sarah, who took some time off, she's got a little one, and she's been a wonderful figure to work with, a tremendous ambassador for AFL Queensland alongside Mitch Simpson. Obviously we've got Adrian Richardson as well. Just a wonderful team here at AFL Queensland. I think it's fitting. We've had two big grand finals over the last couple of weeks, one at Carrara, one here. It's been a big period for them. And Morningside, 2 from 3 today, they ain't bad.
Not bad at all, gents. I mean, I just look at, it's two sides of the coin, isn't it? You look at Morningside, who are so happy with the win, but then you look on the other side, Annabelle was in tears coming off the ground. He was absolutely gutted. He put everything into that game to try and get his side over the line, but he's definitely one who can hold his head up high for his efforts this afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 QAFL Grand Final Day.
My name is Sarah Owens, and on behalf of AFL Queensland, welcome out here to Brighton Homes Arena. We've been treated to 3 exceptional games of footy today, and that one was epic. So let's begin with a huge round of applause to both our grand final teams today. Assisting in the presentations today will be Tricia Squires, Head of AFL Queensland, Dean Warren, Chair of the AFL Queensland Strategic Advisory Group, and David Lillico, the 2004 Joe Grant medalist. I'd now like to take the opportunity to congratulate our umpires on their grand final appointments and thank them for their efforts today. I'd also like to acknowledge Bradnam's Windows and Doors as our statewide partner of umpiring in Queensland. To present our umpires with their grand final medallions, please welcome Tricia Squires, Head of AFL Queensland. Beginning with our field umpires, Sam Somerville, Frank Grayson and Rowan Smith. Our boundary umpires, Alex Donoghue, Rowan Mahoney and Nicholas Mabb. Our goal umpires, Alistair Meldrum and Joan Again. And our emergency umpire and third scorer, Matt Bellina and Connor Johnston. Even take a step forward if you want. Please join with me in showing our appreciation for the umpires, not only for the job they did today, but throughout the entire season. Well, 20 years since he won this medal himself, I'd now like to invite David Lillico to come forward to present the Joe Grant Medal to the player selected as best on ground in today's match. This award is determined by a panel who voted on a 3-2-1 basis. I am delighted to announce that the player judged as best on ground in the 2024 QAFL Grand Final from Morningside, number 3, Tommy Horn. Congratulations, Tommy, and thank you, David. Unfortunately, there can only be one winner, and after a fantastic game today and a 2024 campaign, I'd now like to invite Phil Cast from the Redland-Victoria Football Club to come forward and say a few words on behalf of today's runners-up.
Firstly, look, thanks to the league, to the umpires, to all the sponsors who've made this season and made today possible. I think it was a great spectacle out here at Brighton Homes. Tegsy and Billy and all the Morningside boys, huge congratulations. You guys are a seriously proud club, and from not even being in finals last year to winning the big one, it's a huge achievement. So well done to Morningside. To my boys, proud's not even a strong enough word, but I know it's going to be hollow to you at the moment. You've given everything the whole way through, lads. I absolutely love you. Sometimes footy, life can be cruel. You've got to keep picking yourself up, and we'll pick ourselves up.
Thank you, Phil. To present the Premiership Cup and team with their medals, I'd like to welcome Dean Warren, Chair of AFL Queensland Strategic Advisory Group, forward. I'd now like to kindly invite Paul Egan from the Morningside Footy Club to come forward to receive his Premiership medallion, the match ball, and also say a few words on behalf of our Premiers.
Firstly to the league for hosting out here. I think Redlands would agree as well. What a bloody venue for a grand final, seriously. For players to be able to come and play on this ground, these facilities, I hope it continues here for many, many years. So really good decision, Dino, and everyone involved. So it's a great venue, and I hope everyone had a great day. To Cassie and Stal, and look, I said in the article during the week, between Morningside and Redlands, it's a fairly unique situation. There are a lot of blokes who are really, really good mates with each other. I spent 4 years there myself. So to a lot of other people, Rolsey, Willow, Salts, I know you're not in the coaching box these days. Tomo, a lot of the other boys there and people off the field, Mrs T, Toby as well. The club means a lot to me and my family personally for what you've done for us over the last 7 years. That's something that will never be forgotten. And thanks for an unbelievable game today. It was really hats off to you for the way you went about it. So well done. To our club, not sure if everyone thought this might have happened 2 years ago when you appointed me, but as I said earlier as well, to the board and committee for all the support you've given the footy side in the last 2 years. Footy's been at the top again. To all the players, like Cassie said, just words just probably really can't describe the effort that you've put in since November, and all teams do it. But the mateship and the connection that you now have, win, lose or draw today, what you do off the field together is what helps on the field and what's helped deliver today. So absolute credit to you all, to the players there. So well done, boys. Sometimes the forgotten ones in football are all the wives and girlfriends and parents of the players. So to all of you for letting your husbands and sons out for 3 times a week and all day on a Saturday, thank you. And to all our supporters, they're up on the hill. We dawned the hill from early this morning, so I think we're going to have a fairly good few days. So well done again. Thank you again.
It's now time to present the players from Morningside with their Premiership medals, starting with number 1, Hayden Bertoli Simmons. Number 2, Thomas Griffiths. Number 3 and today's best on ground, Tommy Horn. Number 5, Nakaya Cockatoo. Number 6, Dylan Swan. Number 7, Ryan Daz. Number 8, Garrett McDonough. Number 9, Jacob Lohman. Number 11, Max Nelson. Number 14, Mitchell Howson.
Is that the one we win here?
Number 15, Darcy Cameron Rees. Number 16, Brad Hodge. Number 17, Jake Godwin. Number 22, Kelly Castle. Number 24, Lachlan Nyland Rowe. Number 25, Declan Willey. Number 26, Wyatt Greenaway. Number 37, Kai Purslow. Number 38, Zach Straker. Number 39, Matthew Waters. Number 41, Cam Loving. And your premiership captain, number 10, Bill Pendlebury.
Just quickly, I did forget one thing. Keegan Downey, mate, we all did this. There's a little part of you in all of us today, mate, so well done for your whole year, mate. Where are you?
Here they are, the Morningside Panthers, your 2024 QAFL Premiers.
Well, how about that? Sensational. We've got Brad Moore, your final thoughts of today's grand final.
Oh, look, I think we were blessed with a fantastic grand final there. Both teams were super outstanding, and it's unfortunate that you've got to have a winner and a loser, but nothing can be taken away from Morningside's performance today. They were fantastic from start to finish. Redland-Victoria Point, their final series, I think I said it earlier, was fantastic. They've come through the hard way. They've had 4 extremely tough games, and to lose a grand final by 5 points, they've been thereabouts. I know it's going to be disappointing for them, but they gave themselves every opportunity in a grand final. They just fell short today. Morningside were fantastic, and obviously they had a lot of good players, but I think we were blessed with one of the best grand finals that you'll see in QAFL football.
And to enjoy the grand finals, one of the best grand finals we've seen, Jack was out on the ground before and he caught up with some of the other winning stars.
Tommy Horn State player this year, but your second year at the footy club, mate. An outstanding game today, and how'd you enjoy it?
It was unreal. Such a good experience and such a good group of blokes to do it with. It was a close contest, but it was so good to get over the line. Redlands obviously had the four rounds of finals, so they done well to run out a game like that, I thought.
I'm sure there's plenty of people back at home watching you, and you had a really interrupted year last year, but you certainly came out and had a big year this year.
Last year sucked with that injury, but got through this year, and I thought we had a pretty good year. So that's just good reward for effort, I thought.
State team, premiership midfielder. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate. Well, cheers. Appreciate it.
That'll probably be it for you.
Congratulations, Billy. An epic game and a great game by yourself.
Yeah, they really pushed us right to the end. They made it really tough. They should hold their heads very high, but to where we've come from 2 years ago to be here right now, it really means a lot.
Well, this is your third premiership flag. You played one with the Lions and two with the club, and you've been a great skipper. What a great turnaround by Morningside over the last few years.
Yeah, it really has been. It's from the top up. All the work that they do, people off the field that don't get the rewards. We get to go around and kick the footy at the end of the day, but there's people that we need to fucking thank and be really grateful for.
Well done, Billy. Congratulations. Great game.
Yeah, so well done, Jack, there for getting the Joe Grant medalist and the premiership captain. Before I wrap up things from my end, I want to give a big shout out to our wonderful team over at Double Take today. We had Harry, Connor, and Josh here on the camera. We have Will, our great man Will in the studio. We have Joel, who was producer. We have Ben doing all the wonderful stats today. And it'd be remiss to not thank all the other commentators that we had join us right across season 2024. I want to thank David Hampton, Riley Guest, Mitch Simpson, also Daniel Viles for his wonderful work and his contribution to footy here in Queensland. And of course, big thanks to Brad, big thanks to Kane, and look, it's my privilege to be here again. And well done to just a wonderful team. And of course, my last words, got to thank the sponsors. Without Brandon Windows and Doors, we would not be here. For the final word of the 2024 AFL Queensland QAFL season, Kane Browning, take it away.
Well, what can we say, gentlemen? An absolute epic way to finish season 2024. 5 points the margin in favour of Morningside. It's been an absolute privilege to call QAFL footy this season. I'd like to thank everyone in the box this afternoon. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Yendi. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Daniel Viles. Thank you to everyone at AFL Queensland. Hopefully you'll come back and join us again next season for 2025 QAFL football, thanks to Double Take and the YouTube channel. My name's Kane Browning. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you all again next year. Have a great night.